Welcome into The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football.
Touchdown, Kansas City!
And your home for Royals baseball.
Fastball hit high in the air, deep left field, way gone into the bleachers. A two-run homer for Bobby Witt Jr.
Watch The Drive by subscribing on our YouTube channel or listen on demand with the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
This show is always going to stand on principles. Dippin' Dots are incredible. Red Lobster is the best restaurant that America has to offer, and baked beans are trash.
You're listening to Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan. Here's C-Dot.
Let's do this. Another day, another dollar, another edition of The Drive. You were listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. My name is Carrington Harrison. Excited to be here with you on this wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. We have a lot to get into in today's show. We are going to begin with the Missouri Tigers, as they have, I think, firmly put themselves on the right side of the bubble in regards to the NCAA tournament. We're also going to play a piece of audio that I think this is the most important piece of audio regarding the Chiefs as we are heading into the offseason. We'll get to that coming up in just a little bit. Gabe DeArmond of Power Mizzou is going to be on the show coming up in about 15 minutes. We are excited to talk college basketball today as we are getting closer and closer to March Madness. Before we move any further, I need you guys to do me a couple of favors. Number one, I need you listening to The Drive each day at 2 o'clock right here on 96.5 The Fan. Number two, I need you to tell one friend to check out the show. Rob, you and I were just looking at the ratings. People ain't been telling one friend to check out the show. I asked for 3 small things on the show. I say tune in at 2. I don't say tune in at 3:15. I don't say tune in at 4:15. I mean, that'd be great if you listen during those times. You can at least listen at 2 o'clock and tell one person to check out the show. I'm disappointed in all of you. And number 3, and most importantly, I need you to remember that our show is brought to you by our friends over at The Other Place. Tomorrow, when you're thinking about what you want to do for lunch, and you're riding in your car, and you're thinking about getting fast food, and you're listening to Midday Show with Cody and Gold, I want you to drive to The Other Place. And I want you to get one of their incredible 12 lunch items for $8.99. You can get a burger, a salad, a pasta, a sandwich, a slice of pizza, and a salad, and a soup. $10. Starts at 11, ends at 3. Go have lunch with our friends over at The Other Place. All right, we're going to split the lead in half today. We'll get to Mizzou coming up in a little bit. Gabe DeArmond of Power Mizzou is going to be on the show in about 10 to 15 minutes or so. Let's start with Ben Johnson. You guys know him. He is the head coach of the Chicago Bears. Last year, Eric Bieniemy was his running back coach. Eric Bieniemy is now the offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs. And Ben Johnson had this to say about losing EB.
We'll miss a ton. The guy's a phenomenal football coach, and that coaching staff a year ago, and really similar to this year, is there were a lot of guys outside of my circle that I didn't know very well. So he was really through reputation. We had a lot of productive conversations before he decided to join on board, and then I was just blown away from the impact he had, not only in that position room, which Swift had probably the best year of his career, and then the 7th rounder Monungai had a hell of a year himself. Not just that room, but the entire offense. He brings a demanding presence. The standard is the standard with Eric Bieniemy, and those are big shoes to fill.
I would say one very important thing that I think is undeniable about Eric Bieniemy. I believe that he is a great teacher of the game. And I do believe that Eric Bieniemy has the ability to get the most out of your talent. I believe the Chiefs are going to make a move at running back. They almost announced it earlier in this draft process that they wanted to get more explosive at running back, and they wanted to be a more dynamic run team. This was Brett Veach yesterday.
Certainly we want to get more explosive in the running game. We've invested in that interior, and Trey Smith and Creed Humphrey, 2 of the best in the league, and we thought Kingsley made a big step. Those are 3 talented interior players. So I think, and we've talked about it, and Coach has done an amazing job with his staff cranking on that scheme eval, but I think being more explosive in the running game and really taking advantage of those interior 3 to kind of impose your will on an opposing team's defense. But I mean, the running game takes a lot of pressure off everybody. So I think if we can be more explosive and more effective in the running game, I think obviously we take a lot of pressure off Pat, especially coming back early in the season with the injury.
I've told you guys how important I think the run game is and how important I think it is for the Chiefs to find balance in their run game, especially now with the injury to their starting quarterback. And right now, the Chiefs only have one running back under contract, Rashee Smith. They desperately need to be more explosive in the run game. They desperately need to develop their own run game. The person best equipped to do that, if given the proper resources, is Eric Bieniemy. So regardless of how we think the Chiefs are going to resolve the running back issue, whether that's in free agency, whether it's the 9th overall pick, maybe it's the 40th overall pick, whatever plan the Chiefs have at trying to be more explosive in the run game, Rob, the best person to bring the best out of the run game is Eric Bieniemy. I agree with what Ben Johnson had to say, and I think we've heard a lot of people also echo that same sentiment about the standard he's going to hold guys to, about him being a great teacher of the game. If you look at DeAndre Swift, he did have a very good season. If you look at Kyle Monangai, who was a 7th-round pick, and you looked at the development that he had over the course of the season, I understand that Ben Johnson gets a lot of credit for Caleb Williams and the development and step forward that we saw him take this past season, but that team was also very good because they were balanced, because they could run the football, because they had a pretty capable offensive line, and they were able to piece that together with the run game. Eric Bieniemy, he might not have been the play caller for last year's Bears team, but his fingerprints are definitely all over the Bears offense and the success that they had last season.
I think, now, first off, I don't think Ben Johnson was going to come out the combine and say anything negative about Eric Bieniemy, so I think I don't want to overreact to the comments too much. But I do think, as someone who is pro the Eric Bieniemy hire, I've been pro on the idea of there are things he's going to clean up and fix that are intangibles, accountability, all those things. But if you're looking for a tangible thing, a thing you can touch, a thing you can feel, a thing to in the box score you can point to and say, look, that's Eric Bieniemy. I think part of that is running backs. It's the obvious one because Rashee Smith didn't play last year. I don't know if that's Matt Nagy. I don't know if it's last year's running back coach, Todd Pinkston. I don't know if it's Andy Reid, but he didn't play. If he plays and is productive, that's Eric Bieniemy. Whoever they pick up in the draft or free agency, if that player comes in and is productive, you can point to Eric Bieniemy. I saw a thing, I believe it was Sam McDowell had a stat that they were dead last in EPA on RPOs. Basically meaning when they ran an RPO, it was not good for the Chiefs. If they start running the RPO effectively, which includes run, that's the R in RPO, I think you can point to Eric Bieniemy. If they start running more under center, you can point to Eric Bieniemy. So as someone who's pro the hire of Eric Bieniemy and likes him back as offensive coordinator, I think you can start to touch and feel certain things about the offense and attribute it to him if it gets better.
I'll throw this at you for the first question of the day, 913-586-7965. We got Gabe DeArmond of Power Mizzou coming up in just a bit. We'll talk about Missouri, a very nice win yesterday at home against Tennessee. If everything you are saying about Eric Bieniemy is true, and I have no reason to believe that it's not true, does that make it a stronger possibility that they could bring back Jawaan Taylor? I do not think Jawaan Taylor is a bad right tackle at all. He does have a penalty problem. And if we are talking about accountability and having the ability to clean some of those things up, maybe it is in the Chiefs' best interest to restructure Jawaan Taylor's contract, move some money around, get a little bit of money back on the cap, get that cap number down for this season, and continue the same setup that they had last year. Now, I understand the season didn't play out the way that everybody expected it to play out, but having Jalen Moore as their third offensive lineman was a big plus for this team. It was a big plus when you had an injury with Josh Simmons, when Josh Simmons was absent for a time, when you had some issues over there at right tackle. Having a guy that you think has the ability to play left and right tackle for you at a pretty good contract is a really valuable thing that not a lot of teams can say. If there is a chance that Eric Bieniemy can clean up the mistakes of Jawaan Taylor, and from a contract perspective, Brett Veach is telling you they can make the money work.
And I think with guys like Jawaan and Drew Tranquil, someone asked me about earlier, these guys started for us and they play a lot of football for us. And our cap situation, I don't know if we're 6 or 7 over, but I think we have $60 million in convertible contracts too. So, we have many different ways to attack this. And I think that's the one thing that we've been good at We don't do a lot of money pushed out in the future years, and I think we run a pretty tight ship there. So this gives us flexibility to do different things. So again, that's part of the process with all those guys, and we'll see how the scenarios shake out.
I'm looking at Jawaan Taylor's contract. Now, I still think it's in their best interest to move on from Jawaan Taylor. I still think the $20 million you can save in cap space is worth it to move on. But I do think the Chiefs are going through a scenario in which could we keep Jawaan Taylor, still have Jalen Moore, we got Josh Simmons on a rookie deal, and could we get this cap number down? Jawaan Taylor is 29 years old. Like, we're not talking about an aging player. We're not talking about a guy that you don't think can play. And if Jawaan Taylor, or when Jawaan Taylor hits free agency, he's going to be a starter in the National Football League for somebody else. And I think most would agree, if you could quite simply just clean up the penalty problem. Let's say you cut the Jawaan Taylor penalty problem in half. Let's say you don't absolutely solve it, like you don't just snap your fingers and now he never commits another penalty. If you could cut his penalties in half, I think it's worth it to at least have the conversation about him coming back. Now, again, you got to get the cap number down. His cap number is $27.3 million. But them coming to an extension with Jawaan Taylor and getting his number down and maybe having him on the team at ages 29 and 30 and spacing that cap number out a little bit, Robbie, if you think that Eric Bieniemy has the ability to hold Jawaan Taylor accountable and can get the most out of Jawaan Taylor, I don't know if that's a terrible option for their offense to continue to give themselves flexibility, because I would say in the same way that your team needs to prepare for a quarterback injury, like if your team's not prepared for your quarterback missing 2 to 3 games, then you have mismanaged the way to build your roster. I think you also need to be prepared that you are not going to have your left tackle and right tackle play 17 games, both of them starting. You need to plan for attrition on the offensive line. Having 2 guys that you think can play either left or right tackle and can move around the board a little bit and feeling really good about your 6th man coming off the bench, I think is a really, really valuable position to be in.
So 2 things can be true at once. I think, A, I do think Eric Bieniemy can help clean up Jawaan Taylor. I do definitely think that's a thing. I also think he can help clean up Xavier Worthy, not knowing where the out-of-bounds marker is. Same with Chad O'Shea. I agree with all those things. I also, and maybe I'm talking out both sides of my mouth, think it is a poor team-building exercise to keep Jawaan Taylor, because that swing tackle you're talking about, isn't that Issa Pole? Isn't that his job on a nothing contract?
Yeah, he's making no money.
He's making less money than some accountants are right now in Kansas City. So, yeah, I agree with you conceptually. I think that's the best way to do team building, but I don't know that includes Jawaan Taylor, despite the fact I definitely believe Jawaan Taylor would be held accountable with Eric Bieniemy.
Yeah, looking at Issa Pole's contract, he is under contract just for 2026. He's then a restricted free agent in 2027. If the Chiefs want Issa Pole around, they certainly could keep him. That makes a lot of sense to me. You take the $20 million in cap saving. You have Pole as a guy who can play either left tackle or right tackle, and a guy who I think showed you a little bit. There was certainly a lot of optimism about him. He got cut. That was a big question. He then was available again in the second half of the season, and he did not look bad in the opportunities given to him by the Chiefs. He obviously is going to be around for this next season. We'll see in what role. Is he going to be their first man coming off the bench, or just the comments yesterday from Brett Veach, they have to make you think, I think they are going through all the math permutations. And if there is a way for you to get Jawaan Taylor's cap number down from $27 million to $8 million for this upcoming season, or like in his first year, it was at $5.8 million, and you can basically do kind of the same kind of contract structure for him, I think the Chiefs are exploring the possibility of having Jawaan Taylor on the 2026 Kansas City Chiefs. Coming up on the other side, we'll switch gears. We'll be joined by Gabe DeArmond of PowerMizzou.com. The Tigers put themselves on the right side of the bubble. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on Kansas City's only FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Have you ever wanted to go to the NBA Finals? Well, now's your chance, courtesy of our friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app. All you need to do is use your profit boost on an NBA future, and you'll be entered for a shot to win an NBA Finals trip for 2. NBA Futures, lock in your pick on who you think is going to go all the way, whether it's a team to win the championship or win the Western or Eastern Conference. Maybe you think that San Antonio is going to upset OKC out west. Maybe you got any idea who's going to come out of the Eastern Conference. Maybe you like Boston with the possible return of Jason Tatum. Whatever your bet is for the future, visit FanDuel.com/local to get started. Remember, play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. No purchase necessary. Limit 1 entry. 4 Profit Boost token. Opt-in required. Must apply Profit Boost token on select market. Restrictions apply. See full terms, including methods of entry at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BOOST to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BOOST for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BOOST for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
In Kansas, truth is told in speed. Wide open, full bore, and no mercy. Season momentum earned 3 and 4 wide. Loud, intense, inches predicting outcomes. Blink and miss.
They bang sideways.
What just happened? Pure speed whipping across the plains.
Hell yeah, boys!
NASCAR weekend at Kansas Speedway, April 18th and 19th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
Whether you're commuting to work or heading out for a fast coffee break, getting an auto insurance quote is just a tap away. With AAA, you're always connected, so you can focus on the road ahead. Rest easy knowing AAA's got you covered, no matter where life takes you. AAA, we're always with you. To start your quote, visit AAA.com/insurance. Insurance provided to qualified AAA members by Automobile Club Inter-Insurance Exchange and AAA affiliate insurers. Membership requires a separate payment.
Some flavors just take you to another place. Like the Filet-O-Fish, a crispy fish fillet made with wild-caught Alaskan pollock on melty American cheese topped with tartar sauce, all on a soft, steamed bun. It's crispy, flaky perfection. And right now, I can mix and match 2 favorites, like a Filet-O-Fish or 10-piece chicken McNuggets for just $6. This deal is the catch of the day. So get to McDonald's fast. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal. Single item at regular price.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Hola, amigos! Brad Evans here. Check out this booming voice and Pat Boyle on BetMGM tonight, covering the biggest sports stories from coast to coast, live and interactive on the free Odyssey app, discussing NFL offseason news and getting you ready for the madness in college hoops. BetMGM tonight with me, Brad Evans and Pat Boyle, live and interactive, Monday through Friday night, starting at 6 Eastern, presented by BetMGM. Always live on the free Odyssey app and watch on YouTube at BetMGM tonight.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this. Follow this station on Instagram at The Fan 965 for giveaways and behind-the-scenes content.
Let's head to the phone lines right now to be joined by Gabe DeArmond of PowerMizzou.com. Mizzou got a very impressive win last night at home against Tennessee. Gabe, how you doing today, my man?
Not bad. What's going on?
The question everybody wants to know, I'm looking at Mizzou as they are certainly on the right side of the bubble, in my opinion. I think that's also reflected in all the bracketologies that you look at. How do you think Missouri is How do you think Missouri is looking? How do you think they are positioned as we are heading into this final stretch of regular season games?
Yeah, I mean, they're in great shape. They have 5 quad 1 wins, 9-9 in quad 1 and 2. You compare them to the rest of the teams on the bubble. I mean, Auburn loses last night. Indiana, terrible loss to Northwestern at home. New Mexico loses at Nevada. USC lost again. So Missouri's in good shape. If they win one more, they're in. If they don't win one more, they might still be in just because the bubble is so weak, and like their resume stacks up really well when you look at them compared to other teams in that range.
Do you feel like Missouri's non-con could potentially hurt them? Because just looking at the teams that they beat in the non-con, I mean, they basically beat Minnesota, and that's just about it. They lost on the road to Notre Dame. They got smoked by Kansas. They got smoked by Illinois. Like, they don't really have a great non-con resume. Do you think that could potentially hurt them once it comes down to picking teams for the NCAA tournament?
I think it could hurt them in seeding. I don't really think it's going to hurt them much as far as whether they're in or out because, again, I mean, they beat Florida, they beat Kentucky, they beat Tennessee, they beat Vandy, right? I mean, these are teams that are all going to be top 6 seeds. Well, maybe not Kentucky. Kentucky's got some work to do, but the other 3 are going to be top 5 or 6 seeds. They've beaten teams that are not only going to be in this field, but have been in this field for a while. So I don't think it really matters a whole lot that, you know, their non-conference was unimpressive. And actually that Minnesota win looks better than we thought it was going to look at the beginning of the year. I mean, they're not a tournament team. They're not great, but that's a quad 2 game now. Minnesota's top 75 in the net and has been, I think, better than people expected them to be.
What would you say Missouri's ceiling is in regards to the NCAA tournament? And I'm just projecting their floor is probably a game against TCU and Dayton in the first 4.
Yeah, I mean, the floor is, I mean, I guess the floor is they lose out and don't get in. But if they get in, I mean, the floor is, we saw it last year. They can lose in the first round. There's no question, right? I think there are 3 absolutely elite teams and then probably, I don't know, 10 or so that you say are better than everybody else. After that, I mean, Missouri could lose in the first round. But, again, if you can beat Florida, if you can beat Tennessee, if you can beat Vandy, you know, I thought they played well against Arkansas. Like, I don't think it's out of the question that this team could make the second weekend. I mean, I wouldn't expect it. I won't predict it. But matchups and just how they play on any given day, they've beaten teams at that level. It's not out of the question.
Right now, we're talking to Gabe DeArmond of PowerMizzou.com, talking about Mizzou after their impressive win yesterday against Tennessee. I won't say that Missouri's season was ever really spiraling out of control, but there definitely was a time where it looked bleak for Missouri. How do you think they were able to turn things around? What did they do to turn things around?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if spiraling out of control, but I declared it over on December 22nd, the night of the Illinois game. That was so ugly, and they looked so bad. And look, we all kind of gave Dennis Gates grief for it at the time. You know, there was this, hey, we don't have Trent Pearson, we don't have Jaden Stone. Yeah, fine. Well, actually, that was a big deal, right? That's 40% of your starting lineup and guys that have played really well. So I think that's number one. I think number 2 is, you know, Dennis finally hit a point where he said, I can't keep waiting on Anthony Robinson. And he put T.O. Barrett in as the starting point guard. And, I mean, that kid is, last night being kind of the crowning achievement in it all, he has really turned this team around. 28 points last night, and just, like, it was the equivalent of a football team lining up and handing the ball off and running straight up the middle and saying, well, if you're just going to give us 7 yards every time we do this, we're just going to keep doing it. That's what T.O. Barrett kept doing to Tennessee last night.
Right now, we're talking to Gabe DeArmond of PowerMizzou.com. You're right. T.O. yesterday, I mean, just his ability to get to the basket. I mean, it felt like such an old school game. You don't really see guys almost drop 30 points and not attempt a 3. Just going to the basket. There was nobody on Tennessee that really had an answer for that last night.
Yeah, and I mean, Rick Barnes said, hey, they found something that worked, and, like, we were trying to adjust to it, and we're trying to help our guards, and the help just didn't come. I mean, you know, it was a perfect example of just, we're going to do this until you stop it. And they never stopped it, down to literally the basket that pretty much iced the game with 57 seconds left. It was a 2-point game. And Barrett drove. And I mean, if you watch the video of that basket and you're a Missouri fan and you don't get Tyus Edney flashbacks of the shot he made there over Tennessee's defense, but he just kept doing it, and Tennessee never figured it out.
Also, looking at Missouri, a major turning point for me, just looking at it, is you obviously aren't rooting for injuries and guys to get hurt. I feel like the injuries kind of force Missouri to lock in on who they like. And it is just not realistic to play 11 guys and make everybody happy. I feel like the moment Missouri really kind of locked in on, hey, these are the 7 and 8 guys that we can go win basketball games with, you have just seen a noticeable difference in their team.
No question. And, I mean, the truth is this team never had 10 or 11 guys that were good enough, right? But between injuries and ineffectiveness, I mean, Dennis Gates doesn't really have a choice. And Trent Burns has been added to that, so you've started to get to maybe 8 that you can play, which I think is a key factor once you get to postseason and you're playing every day or every other day. I think it's important to have one more guy. But, for all the people who complained about Dennis, and don't get me wrong, some of the complaints were valid, but he has really changed a lot of things this year, and I think shown a lot of growth and a lot of development himself as far as the way he's handled this team.
Are you optimistic about the future of Missouri basketball? I mean, I'm with you this year. Yeah. I don't know if this team is making some deep run in the NCAA tournament, but this team's going to win 20 games. This team is going to make the NCAA tournament for back-to-back years. That's 3 appearances in the last 4 years. They got one of the top point guards in high school basketball coming in. Like, there's a lot of reasons to feel good about where Missouri is headed.
No question. I mean, back-to-back tournaments for the first time since, I don't know, Frank Hayes' first year, I think. Or second year, I guess Frank made it his first 2 maybe. But yeah, so you've got that. You've got a little momentum going. You've kind of settled the idea that, hey, maybe next year he's under all this pressure and on the hot seat and all that. You've got Barrett coming back. You've got Pierce coming back. You've got Burns coming back. And then you add Jason Crow, Tony Bryant in this recruiting class. And, I mean, a lot of it's going to be determined on what he does in the portal, like it is with every coach at this point in time. But there are pieces and things to build around on this team for next year.
That is Gabe DeArmond of PowerMizzou.com joining us on the show today. Missouri with an impressive win at home against Tennessee. Missouri has 3 regular season games left. They go on the road to play Mississippi State and on the road to play Oklahoma. They close out the regular season at home against Arkansas. Gabe, great stuff, man. We'll catch up with you down the line.
All right, sounds good. Have a good one.
Absolutely. That's Gabe DeArmond of PowerMizzou.com joining us on the show. Rob, I think if you are a Missouri fan, you have to feel very good about where they are headed, at least this season, in regard to the NCAA tournament. I feel pretty strongly that Missouri is going to make the NCAA tournament. Now, they're not going to be a high seed or anything in the NCAA tournament, but if you look at, I guess, from January 1 on, so since they started conference play, their first conference game was on January 3rd. They have beat Florida. They went on the road and beat Kentucky. They beat Auburn, who is another bubble team that's right there. They beat Oklahoma, another team that's kind of in that same category. They went on the road and beat Texas A&M. They beat Vanderbilt and Tennessee. Now, maybe they still need to do a little bit more work, but you should win one of these next 2 games against Mississippi State or Oklahoma. Given how well I think Missouri has played at home, they have a chance of beating Arkansas at home. I think Missouri has done enough work to at least be on the correct side of the bubble. I think 8-9 might be a little bit high on where I think you could project Missouri, but I think they could be a 10 or 11 seed and a team that avoids going to Dayton for the first 4 because I just don't count that being in the tournament.
I agree with everything you're saying. And listen, I watch bracketology this time of year probably way too much. And I'd love to say it's my job. It's because I'm a loser. But I don't understand why Missouri keeps popping up in Dayton on these lists. Like, you're a big fan of the Say It Out Loud test. You're telling me a team that is top, I guess they're 6th right now in the SEC, they're a top 6 Power 5 conference team or Power 4 conference team is going to Dayton? They're on bracketology a lot of times worse than Auburn, who I think Missouri beat straight up and is better than. I think Missouri is squarely in, and I think if they finish the season undefeated, like win the next 3 games, which would be a big ask, but if they do it, and then you make a little noise in the SEC tournament, I think you could play yourself to an 8-9 seed. I don't understand why I keep seeing Lenardi and Field of 68 and these places have them in Dayton. I think they've played their way out of Dayton at this point. Like, they're better than Texas. I know they lost to Texas. Their resume is better than Texas.
Smoked by Texas, too.
Their resume is better than Texas. Texas should be out in Dayton, not Missouri. Like, Santa Clara is a team that I've seen a lot of places is safely in. Missouri's in Dayton. I don't feel that way about Santa Clara. I think Missouri is somehow, because of its bad non-con, judged on a bad scale. They feel safely into me.
We'll get back to the NCAA tournament. We'll get back to Missouri here coming up in a little bit. Rob, have you been keeping up with this lawsuit against Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce? So you guys know they have a steakhouse. It's called 1587 Prime. Great meal. Rob had a chance of going there, but his pride just wouldn't allow him to receive the blessing that I tried to give to him for Christmas. But they have a very, very popular steakhouse called 1587 Prime. There is a company called 1587 Sneakers. They are suing Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. Now, let me give you a little bit of the lowdown. Their sneaker company started in April of 2023. Mahomes and Kelce, they announced in March of 2024. They didn't file a patent until October 30th of last year when 1587 filed their trademark on August 22nd of 2023. Now, I am not a lawyer. This feels like a case that is going to be thrown out very quickly. But in some ways, you know what? I'm not mad at the hustle if I'm 1587 Sneakers. Have you ever heard of them before? Have you ever heard of them before? You never heard of 1587 Sneakers. You never seen anybody walking around with the 1587 Sneakers. You don't know anybody that has a pair of the 1587 Sneakers. You've never seen who endorses the 1587 Sneakers. The fact that people are talking about them for whatever reason is a positive. Patrick Mahomes has not spent a moment thinking about this. Travis Kelce has not spent a moment thinking about this. This is why if you're in their position and you're Mahomes and you're going to touch $1 billion in your life and you're Travis Kelce and you were about to marry a billionaire, that's why you got lawyers to handle this. They sent you a quick text, let you know the story. Hey, we're on this. We're handling this. This is nothing for you to worry about. Look, we got all our paperwork. We filed for the trademark. They didn't. You wear 15. You wear 87. What they're doing has no effect on what we're doing, vice versa. Hey, this is not a big deal. But I actually do give these guys a little bit of credit. This was a smart hustle here, suing these two guys, getting yourself in TMZ, getting yourself in People, releasing statements, trying to let people know that you guys are making a little noise out there. I'm not mad at these guys for this lawsuit.
I mean, again, not a lawyer, but I think it's a great legal strategy until Mahomes and Kelce countersue. They can countersue for frivolous.
If you're Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, you think you're suing 1587 Sneakers?
They drag my name through the mud.
The mud? This is nothing. Listen to this, though. Listen to their statement. This past week, we took formal action against Noble 33. Those are the people that run 1587. Yeah. We took formal action against Noble 33 for using our name and causing significant harm to our business. How has this caused significant harm to your business? While we are fans of both Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes and respect their accomplishments on the field and in the community, it is important to acknowledge that for years now, 1587 has stood on its own, shaped by intentional effort and cultural storytelling. Bro, we don't know you. You ain't New Balance. You're not Hoka. You're not Asics. We've never heard of 1587 Sneakers before. Not a one time. It's never come up in the ads on Instagram. What intentional effort? What cultural storytelling? Nobody knows this story. You should be focused right now on telling people your story, not trying to make a quick buck. You hired lawyers for this? You should have put that effort into your product. You should have put that effort into your business, not suing people. You got the game all wrong. This is wrong. You should have sent Mahomes and Kelce some sneakers and got them to sign them or something. That would have helped your business out more than this nonsense. You cannot win this lawsuit. I know one of you is a lawyer out there, 913-586-7965. I wouldn't settle with these people. I wouldn't do nothing. Send these people an autographed jersey and tell them to go on their way. That's all you need to give 1587 sneakers.
The fact that they said they've been hurting how has 1587 Prime, a steak restaurant, been hurting us? Have people been Googling the sneaker company like, these aren't steaks?
Let me see what these sneakers look like. Let me see what these kicks look like. These kicks is probably terrible.
I mean, the fact that you have sneakers that are probably lower level than New Balance is just not a great sign.
These sneakers is whack. Rob, go on their website right now. Go on 1587sneakers.com and look at these shirts. Look at these hoodies and these sneakers that they have. What story are you telling with these knockoff Adidases you're selling? This is criminal. These are $288. They're just plain white tennis shoes. You can go get these at Ross, $15. You can go get these at Five Below, $5. Man, what's going on over there at 1587? I need to sue them. That's what they need a lawsuit for these prices, price gouging. I'm reporting them to the Better Business Bureau.
I mean, they're not
you looking
bad.
at these ugly sneakers?
I don't think they're bad looking. I think they're wildly overpriced.
I mean, you've seen that shoe before. You can go get that shoe right now at Kohl's.
Correct. Like it's not. If you wore this out, I wouldn't be like, "What are those? What are those?" Like it's Black Panther. But this is knockoff Adidas for $290.
Yeah.
I'm spending $290 for a brand no one's heard of.
Yeah, you're not fooling with these knockoff Stan Smiths. You're not fooling nobody. Cut from culture, built for you. They got a nice website though. I'm gonna give them that. Free shipping on all orders over $100. There ain't nothing on this website less than $100.
Just say all orders. 100% of the orders.
On this website less than that. What's going on here? I don't know, man. Good luck to you guys. I'm not here to hate on nobody's dream, man. I'm really not.
I mean, if you're a Chiefs fan listening, you're the world's biggest Mahomes and Kelce fan. They do have some slides that have the number 15 and 87 on them. Like, if you're a Chiefs fan, that wouldn't be a bad purchase.
I mean,
I don't know how Kelce and Mahomes have hurt the sale of those shoes, but whatever.
Shout out to them, man. Shout out to them.
I'm actually curious now. If I just Google 1587, like I don't put sneakers, I don't put restaurant, what pops up first? Like that's the $1 million question.
Yeah, probably these sneakers. Changing the game, changing culture.
Now, maybe it's because of where I'm at. Prime comes up first the whole time.
Remember when you had a chance to go to Prime?
Yeah, and then I decided to take Pride over Prime.
That's crazy.
You know, the more I think about it, this company's onto something. Let's just sue the place blind.
Yeah. I mean, that's the American way. That's the real American dream. The American dream is just suing a rich person and taking some of their wealth. That's the real dream. It's not working for it yourself. That's too hard. Like, why should we do the work to get our sneaker brand popping? Why don't we just sue two people that are already popping and then get them to settle, and then we can do what we want with the cash? That's the way to get going.
Ever since that story came out when we were kids, that woman who sued McDonald's for hot coffee, it's been just a hustle of
everybody's
suing.
looking for the Powerball.
Which I actually read a story a while back that the story of the woman spilling hot coffee is a wild misnomer of what actually happened. But at a certain point, the myth becomes bigger than the facts.
You know what? That sounds like a Hulu movie. That's what it sounds like. Remember they had that one movie about how they made Cheetos? That's what we need. We need the story of the hot coffee with McDonald's. That's a movie I'd watch. I'd absolutely.
Only on Hulu, though, because if it's more than 90 minutes, I can't get you to the theater.
No chance. No, not at all. Rob was telling me today about the Odyssey. He told me it could be 4 hours long. I'll never see that movie. Ever.
This all happened because I'm like, hey,
I don't care. I don't care who's in the movie or what's happening in the movie. No chance I'm watching a 4-hour movie.
This all started when I said, hey, that new Ryan Gosling movie is getting great reviews. And you said, how long is it? That's your first question?
Yeah,
You didn't ask me the plot. You didn't ask me to see a trailer.
You know what they need to do? They need to break it up into 4 one-hour episodes if you want me to watch. If you want me to watch, you need to break it up in 4 one-hour episodes so I can watch at my own leisure. I can watch one part now. Maybe I'll watch another part. I'll come back in 2 days. I'll finish it. Yeah, you want me to sit here for 3 hours and 27 minutes? Absolutely not. I can't do that. I got a life. I got things to do. All right, coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to talk a little bit of Royals baseball. Yes, I got some Royals baseball topics for you guys. You didn't think I had them, but yes, we have them. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
What's up? It's Draymond Green. I'm back for my 14th NBA season, and my podcast, The Draymond Green Show, is back too. This season, I'm breaking down games, reacting to the biggest NBA stories, and sitting down with teammates, rivals, and culture shapers. And trust me, I'm not holding back, on the court or on the mic. 2 new episodes every week, new segments, big conversations, real basketball talk for the real hoop heads. Listen to and follow The Draymond Green Show wherever you get your podcasts. We're back, we're better. Let's get it.
Men, we all know how important sex is in a relationship, both for you and your partner. But erectile dysfunction ruins sex, which can often have serious impacts on your relationship as well. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if ED is a problem in your life, you understand the impacts it has on you and the one you love. But I'm here to tell you that ED is a treatable condition, and almost without exception, you can have really good sex again. At Heartland Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men with protocols that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most guys, good sex will be the norm. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a level of intimacy for you and your partner that might just astound you both. It's time to have really good sex again, so call us. Just $99 gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this. What if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. 5 years of Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most, that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense, and that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family's banking on bandwidth. All your devices working in perfect harmony for 5 whole years. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included.
Plus, get online in no time with same-day Wi-Fi.
Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi, it would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that.
Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025. Actual speeds vary. Xfinity Internet powered by fiber and connected to the premises by coaxial cable.
DQ presents the Spicy Menu. For a limited time, try the new Flamethrower Chicken Strip Basket for $6.99 with spicy, bold strips that heat you up. Served with a side of famous DQ Soft Serve as a dip to cool you down. That's right, dip those spicy chicken strips right into Soft Serve. Plus fries and toast, all for just $6.99. And add a new pineapple lemonade sparkler or cooler made with tahini. It's the limited time only Spicy Menu. Get it delivered in the DQ app. Happy, tastes good. Participation may vary.
Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? The IRS won't quit until they get your money. Here's great news, fresh from those in the know. Major changes have happened at the IRS. If you owe more than $10,000, you may be eligible for a 99% reduction of what you owe. Haven't filed a return for a while? Their happy clients are talking.
The IRS was going to levy my bank account, but Guardian was able to prevent that and fix all my IRS issues. Thanks again, Guardian Tax.
Need relief from crushing tax debt? The IRS now has special programs. Guardian Tax knows all about them. Personal or business, this is the fresh new brick you've been hoping for.
We aren't the company you call when you need a hug because you're scared of the IRS. Guardian Tax is the company that wins when you need it most.
Guardian Tax Service is really great to work with. They really helped me out. I'd recommend them highly.
Call now for a free confidential consultation. 800-499-1424. 800-499-1424. 800-499-1424.
Drew Brees here. Whether you're on the field or on the road, having the right team on your side makes all the difference. I learned that the hard way. On the field, you don't go anywhere without a solid O-line. And when your car breaks down, you want that same kind of protection. That's why I trust CarShield. Their protection plans help you tackle expensive repairs so that you're not blindsided.
Visit carshield.com now and join the team that's helped millions of drivers save. Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at carshield.com.
Time is valuable. That's why Lowe's Blueprint Takeoffs turn blueprints into quotes faster. Bring us your plans, and we'll generate itemized material lists to make quoting easier so you can get back to building. Plus, at the Lowe's Pro Desk, you get access to thousands of building materials not sold in store. And when your order's ready, we'll deliver everything to the job site. Improving is easy at Lowe's.
This afternoon,
Expect partly sunny skies with a high of 58.
Weather brought to you by Staples. From posters and presentations to labels and loyalty cards, Staples has all the print to boost your brand. Shop now in-store and online. Staples. That was easy.
Hey, it's Trey Smith from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to the Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to talk a little bit of Royals baseball. You know, baseball is in the air. So the UFL is coming up with a few rule changes. Now, this is what you need to do if you are the UFL. You need to come up with some different rules opposite of the National Football League. And now, I know some of you might laugh at this, but their kickoff rule directly came from this. The NFL absolutely watches how these rules play themselves out in real time and then chooses to adopt some of these rules. So let's go through them. Number one, they are banning the tush push. Finally. Now, I'm waiting on the NFL to do this. I do think they're going to do it. I'm tired of the tush push. Everybody now runs the tush push. I just want it to go away. I do believe that it is going to be outlawed in 2026. We'll see what happens. They came really close to doing it last year. They were a couple of votes short. I do think before we get done with this offseason, I think that is going to be just run a traditional quarterback sneak. I don't know what was wrong with the quarterback sneak, but here we are. So the UFL, they have banned the tush push as a short yardage play. They also are changing points after touchdowns. So they have the ability for you to kick it for one extra point. They also have the traditional 2-point conversion. They also have a 3-point conversion, Rob, that you can go for. You can run a play from the 8-yard line. Is that a rule that you would like to see adopted? Now, I don't know if these rules needs to instantly be put into play in an NFL regular season game, but I don't really understand why the NFL doesn't use its preseason more as a test study and a case study and seeing if these rules work and telling teams, hey, while you're playing backup guys who are potentially not going to make your team, can you do us this solid? Let's get this data. Let's see if you guys like it or don't like it, and this is something that we could bring to the table. I'm kind of intrigued by this. You can kick the 1-point extra point. You can go for a regular 2-point conversion, so basically what we already have now. But they'll also give you the opportunity to go for a 3-point conversion where you can run one single play from the 8-yard line, and if you convert, you'll get 3 points on the play. I don't mind that.
I actually like that rule change. Now, I don't know how I would do it from the 8. I would maybe like to see it maybe like the 12-yard line, make it a little more difficult than the 8-yard line. But, I mean, there was a time where there wasn't a such thing as a 2-point conversion, and I'm sure the idea of a 2-point conversion was hokey to people. But I would back it up and give a chance for a 3. You're telling me I have a chance at a 9-point play? That makes into games more fun. That makes the strategy of games more fun. And as analytics becomes more and more prevalent, I think adding a little more point opportunities wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for the league. I would be a proponent of that rule being instituted with a little tweak.
They are also going to adopt the NCAA rule that only requires 1 foot inbound for a completed catch. They say that it's easier to officiate. There's really no question about that. It also can minimize injuries because they will give themselves more of an opportunity to brace for the fall. I don't dislike that rule, but I also like the way the NFL does it. Hey, in college, you only got to get 1 foot down. You're not a pro. But here at the NFL, no, you got to have the ability to get both of your feet down. It just increases the degree of difficulty to make those kind of catches on the sideline. That's not a rule that I would adopt. I do like the fact that once you get to this level, once you get to the pros, you got to be able to get 2 feet down to make the catch. I would not change that rule.
I agree with you, but I would also tell you NFL officiating is bad. And if it makes the game easier to officiate, I would definitely consider it. Because you know what sucks right now? 25 minutes of stoppage to discuss if a toe did or didn't get it out. And we use that NBC see it, and it gets real close and pixelated. We got to figure out if there's green in between a player's foot or not. That if it does help officiating, I'm open to it. But I don't like that rule.
I mean, I don't even know if that's having the ability to only get 1 foot down would make this a much more simplistic process than I think that it currently is. I'm 100% with you there. Now, the big change is They are suggesting that if you make a field goal that is over 60 yards, you would get 4 points for that. So this past season, there were 37 attempts in the National Football League over the last couple of years in which a field goal was over 60 yards, only 16 of it. So it's not like it's automatic. Teams are making less than 50% for over 60 yards, but there are teams that have the ability or have a kicker that could kick over 60 yards. Dallas's kicker, for example, Brandon Aubrey is one. He has had 5 kicks made over 60 yards over the last 2 seasons. I'm kind of with this one. I actually would really like this rule. If you got 4 points for a kick over 60 yards, that's a rule I'm actually very interested in them implementing.
This one, I'm top of the list, all for. Now, maybe the answer is you keep it regular, but you narrow the uprights. But we are now in a world where Cam Little, I saw this video on TikTok the other day because I don't know why, but he made a 73-yarder in warmups in Denver last year when the Jags played the Broncos. If we have dudes in warmups drilling it from 73 yards, you got to give them something. You got to make it more interesting than just that's 3. So I'm for an extra point. I'm for narrowing the uprights. Like, I would really like a 4-point play. You're telling me end of game, hey, you're down by 3. Do you play for the 4 or do you try to get in safe range for the 3? Like, that's a fascinating game strategy to me.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess I also think, I guess in maybe some ways, it would maybe, I don't know if make the game easier would make it, but I mean, if you're a team that has 50 seconds and no timeouts left, your ability to get to the touchdown, like the ability to score a touchdown, I think is kind of low. And your ability to be able to kick a 61-yard field goal is not that far off. That's one good return, one good play, a spike. Now, I mean, it's a tough kick. Again, it's less than 50% chance. But just the drama and strategy I believe you would get at the end of the game, it's definitely worth trying. This is why I really want the league to just use these preseason games more as sort of a rules incubator. Like, they have the ability in baseball to do this because they have a minor league system. That's how we got the pitch clock. They ran the pitch clock in minor league games. We had enough of a sample size to see the difference in how much time it cut off, so we just implemented that into the pros. The NFL just doesn't really have that ability because they don't have a true minor league system the way that baseball does, the way that basketball does with the G League. So this just seems like a no-brainer to me. Use your preseason in that way. If you got 3 games, and for the most part you're playing backups anyway, have them be a place to use these rules, and let's see if we like them or not.
I mean, the real answer is the NFL should use the UFL as their true spring league. Like, the Chiefs don't need to be carrying a practice squad. Have your practice squad be the Birmingham Stallions, and then you essentially have a minor leagues. Like, if you're going to be playing 19, 20 games a year, which, knowing the way they're moving, that's the direction they're going, then maybe you can have a minor leagues. But, I mean, I would be a big proponent of using the preseason to learn and tweak and tinker. But you know how coaches are. Well, we treat this like a game week. No, you don't. Stop it.
Oh, we know that. I mean,
they love to say it though. We treat week 2 of the preseason like a game week. No, you don't.
No, they treat it like a game week. The players have got to stay in hotels. That's the only thing they do. That's the only thing they do to treat it like a game week. Everything else, we're giving this no energy. None. We're running the most vanilla plays possible. We're going to get to the Royals coming up in a bit. Are you worried about Arizona at all? Because I watched a lot of that Arizona game while Mizzou was on. They both were playing. I had them both on at the same time. They really struggled on the road against Baylor. Is that a scenario in which you think they are potentially looking ahead to their matchup with Kansas? You got a road game sandwiched in between, a look-ahead game. You got a chance at revenge if you're Arizona, having Kansas come to the crib. Or do you think, I mean, this Arizona team, they haven't been as dominant, I feel like, over the last 2.5 weeks or so. Do you think this is a sign of anything with Arizona, or is this just life on the road in conference play?
I think it's like 90% life on the road in conference play, but 10% of me is saying, their lottery pick star, Koa Pete, was out because he's hurt, and he will be out on Saturday against Kansas. And if you're now telling me, I mean, I don't think he's the best player in college basketball, but one of the best players on the floor is not playing in Tucson, it does open up the possibility of Kansas going on the road and getting a win against a good Arizona team. But if you were to make me break it down pie chart style, I would say 90% life on the road in the Big 12, 10% something is wrong with Arizona.
Coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to talk about the Kansas City Royals. This is my question, 913-586-7965. If I gave you right now the ability to see the end of season numbers for one positional player on the Royals, and I gave you that same opportunity with the pitcher, like right now, if I told you I will show you what Bobby Witt Jr.'s season is going to look like, you can pick that for any position player on the team and any pitcher on the team. Who would you pick? We'll answer that question next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. When severe weather hits, tune in to 98.1 KMBZ for Operation Stormwatch. Brought to you by Century Roofing. Proudly voted the #1 roofing company in all of Kansas City. CenturyRoofingKC.com.
Have you ever wanted to go to the NBA Finals? Well, now's your chance, courtesy of our friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app. All you need to do is use your profit boost on an NBA future, and you'll be entered for a shot to win an NBA Finals trip for two. NBA Futures, lock in your pick on who you think is going to go all the way, whether it's a team to win the championship or win the Western or Eastern Conference. Maybe you think that San Antonio is going to upset OKC out west. Maybe you got any idea who's going to come out of the Eastern Conference. Maybe you like Boston with the possible return of Jason Tatum. Whatever your bet is for the future, visit FanDuel.com/local to get started. Remember, play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 of President, Missouri. No purchase necessary. Limit 1 entry. 4 Profit Boost token. Opt-in required. Must apply Profit Boost token on select market. Restrictions apply. See full terms, including methods of entry at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
What's up? It's Draymond Green. I'm back for my 14th NBA season, and my podcast, The Draymond Green Show, is back too. This season, I'm breaking down games, reacting to the biggest NBA stories, and sitting down with teammates, rivals, and culture shapers. And trust me, I'm not holding back, on the court or on the mic. 2 new episodes every week. New segments, big conversations, real basketball talk for the real hoop heads. Listen to and follow The Draymond Green Show wherever you get your podcasts. We're back. We're better. Let's get it.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BOOST to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BOOST for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BOOST for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
I love spending time outside at our house, but I noticed some paint was starting to peel. So I called CertaPro Painters to give us a fresh touch-up. We use CertaPro Painters inside and out at our place, and you should do the same. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here in Kansas City. So schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, CertaPro.com. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
Ah, the most beautiful time of year is upon us. Tax season. And Tax Slayer is here to help you file. We guarantee 100% accuracy and your maximum refund. Those are some good numbers. And you can trust me, because I'm a talking calculator. Did I mention Tax Slayer even has support from real US-based humans if you have any questions along the way? Beat the rush and start for free today. Tax Slayer. File fearlessly.
You like saving money, right? We all do. That's why Allstate just lowered the price of car insurance. Not, but wait, there's a catch. Lower. Actually lower. So if you're shopping around or just want to see how much you could save, check Allstate first for a new lower auto rate that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates. Northbrook, Illinois.
This update is brought to you by Ollie's Bargain Outlet.
The smartest people on earth know how to spot a good deal. That's why they shop at Ollie's first. You'll save up to 70% off the fancy store's prices. So you go, you smart and savvy shopper. You know where the real deals are, where they sell good stuff cheap.
Ollie's! Good stuff cheap!
Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch all your favorite shows, shorts, and clips. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Welcome back into the show. You're listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan. So this is the question. If I allowed you the ability to see any Royals positional players end of the year stat, so for a football equivalent, if I told you right now I could tell you exactly how many yards Xavier Worthy is going to get this season, would you take the opportunity or not? Just want to give you a cross-sport comparison. So we were kicking this idea around as we were getting ready for the show, and we will make this week's edition of Spec Says. Now, Rob and I think that the answer is very, very obvious. Steven Spector, he chose Jonathan India as his player.
If I can take a sneak peek at the stats for one Royals hitter today, I'm picking Jonathan India. I know Jack Caglione would be a popular pick, but regardless of how his season plays out, he's still a part of their future and will be with the organization for a couple more years. Jonathan India is a pending free agent. The Royals have gotten very little offensive production from second base in the last decade. And in his time with the Reds, Jonathan India was a good offensive player. It wasn't great, but he wasn't below average. If you get that from second base in 2026, the Royals offense looks a lot different. And, you know, we've had the conversations about who could be hitting leadoff for this team. Is it Michael Garcia? If it's Jonathan India and he's having a good season, that also makes sense. And at some point you want to win a trade. They need to win the Brady Singer trade. They didn't win it last year because Jonathan India had a bad season. Can they win it this year with a good season? I would say yes. So I'm picking Jonathan India.
All right. I understand the point that Spec is making. I understand the logic. But let's just go under the premise that the Royals are not going to make an additional move in the outfield. It's almost March, and they have not made that move, so I don't think I'm on some wild premise here. Let's assume that this is the team, at least for now. An injury could happen. They can make a trade at the deadline, but let's assume that the opening day roster is currently in Surprise, Arizona. I think I could tell you whether or not the Royals make the postseason if you let me see Jack Caglione's end of the season numbers. I think I could tell you whether or not. Last year, the Royals, I think, were counting on Jack Caglione to be their boost in the offense. I think they were counting on it. He hit 157 with 7 home runs last year. Struck out a bunch last season. He was not good. I'm looking at what they have his projection at. So this is just on Pro Baseball Reference. What do they project Jack Caglione to be this season? They have him, his batting average at 211, an on-base percentage of 288. He hits 10 home runs with 32 RBIs and gets 285 plate appearances. If that's the case, the Royals are not making the postseason. They really need Jack Caglione to be, I don't want to say an impact player. They need him to be a everyday player for them. And you don't need him to go out and hit 40 home runs. But if you're telling me that you let me see into the future, and Jack Caglione hit 250 with 19 home runs and 70 RBIs, then I'm going to place a wager right now that the Royals are winning their division. I think he is that important to what they are trying to do. I don't need to see what Bobby Witt Jr. is going to do. I don't need to see what you're going to get from Vinny Pasquantino. I actually feel pretty confident in Carter Jensen for the 2026 season. I think Carter Jensen will be a positive offensive player for them. I think there is an uncertainty about Jack Caglione, so giving me the opportunity for a sneak peek, I take it.
Me and you're on the same page with Cags, and I'll take it a step further. You said if you see his stats and he's, a good player for the Royals, they're a playoff team. If he's Roman Anthony, now remember, that was the other name. It was Jack Caglione's the phenom right fielder. Watch out for Anthony from the Red Sox. He's the next best prospect. Anthony has been better than Jack Caglione. if Jack Caglione has a Roman Anthony type of season, not only are the Royals a postseason team, I think the Royals are a team that could be dangerous in the postseason. I think they're a team that we in October are talking about, can they win game 3 of the ALDS? Hey, should you start booking ALCS tickets? I think if Cags is the transcendent prospect, comes up and tears the cover off the ball, player that he was kind of built out to be, I think the Royal season could be really, really special. I mean, there's a chance that me and you aren't even talking about another outfield move if he's what he is at one point projected to be. I mean, we had guest after guest on this show saying big, sweeping declarations about who he could be as a player.
They were very high on his ability,
if he can be that player, the Royals aren't, a third wild card team and they're in the playoffs. They're a team that wins their division. And you're talking about, are they playing the ALCS against team blank? I think Caglione is the obvious answer. I don't think India is a bad answer. I just think Cags is very obviously the answer.
913-586-7965. We're asking the question, if I gave you the ability to see the in-season numbers of one Royals positional player, what player would you pick? Rob and I are on the same boat. We would take Jack Caglione. We asked Steven Spector. He said that he would take Jonathan India. Rob, I'm not sure if we're going to be able to use the projections for Pro Baseball Reference because you mentioned Roman Anthony, so I just went to his page. They have his projections, him hitting .282 with an on-base percentage of .374, but hitting 11 home runs with 40 RBIs this season. He will do much better than that this year. He almost did that last year in half the games. I mean, just last year at 21 years old, in 71 games, he had 8 home runs with 32 RBIs and hit almost 300 last year. I think he's going to hit more than 11 home runs this season. I'd be surprised if he did that.
Baseball Reference.
Yeah, I don't know what they got going on over there.
I don't know. Do they hate everyone? What's the deal over there?
I don't know. That's just a very low power number for Roman Anthony, given the fact that he had 8 home runs in 70 games last year. So if you got him playing in 130 games this season, 140, just with time and development and the kind of prospect that he is this year, I think there's a really good chance he gets to 20 this season. And he's just showing you right now that he is a phenom. We'll see if Jack Caglione can kind of live up to that same thing.
For what it's worth, I pulled up Zips projections. Remember that time in Kansas City Lore we all hated Zips projections, we all hated Pacoda. That was a fun time.
I do remember the Pacoda. There was like a 3-year stretch where there was always the Pacoda projections day on Sports Talk Radio. I liked those days.
They have Cags hitting 23 home runs according to Zips projections. So if Cags is doing that,
what do they have him from a batting average perspective?
They just have the accounting stats here. I'm scrolling down to get the advanced.
I'm just going to look to see what player that would be comparable to last season.
They have him with 500 ABs, hitting .254, OBP of .321 with an OPS of 112. So I don't know what the player comp there is, but for what's worth,
I'm trying to find who it is.
Fangraphs is a believer that Jack Caglione is going to be the power hitter he was at one point projected. I was going to look up Roman Anthony for fun, but if they have Caglione hitting .254 with 23 bombs, I cannot imagine what they have Roman Anthony doing.
So I'm looking at it from a numbers perspective. They have him basically being this Dansby Swanson for the Cubs.
Which is the Royals, yes.
I'm looking at it right now. He played in 159 games last year. He had 24 home runs, 77 RBIs. He had .244. I think if you ask most Royals fans, would you take that next season for Jack Caglione? I think you run to smash the button. If I'm telling you right now, that's what Jack Caglione does.
Yes.
24 home runs, 77 RBIs, and almost hits .250 at 23 years old. Yeah, take it, please, immediately. That'd be such an upgrade for their offense if they added that player.
If he's doing that, the Royals are competing for the division. It is crazy. It just kind of shows that Cags is a real mystery, that Baseball Reference is down on him and Fangraphs is saying he's going to bounce back. The projections are all over the place because Cags was prodigious power prospect but did not pan out in his first 80 plate appearances.
From looking at the text line asking this question, so you get one position player, I'll let you see into the future. I ask you the same thing when it comes to a pitcher. Me, you, the text line, Spec, we all are on the same page about who the pitcher you would take.
All right, if I could pick one Royals pitcher for a sneak peek, I'm taking Cole Ragans. And I know it seems obvious, but hear me out. This guy could either win 20 games or miss a majority of the season. Ryan Bergard and Stephen Kolek and Chris Bubich, all fine pitchers, all good pitchers, all productive pitchers. But your highest ceiling and potentially your lowest floor rests with a guy who 2 years ago we thought was a Cy Young Award winner and last year was largely forgotten about. We love to talk about having that ace in baseball, that guy that when you need to stop a losing streak is on the hill. The only guy that fits that mold on this roster is Cole Ragans. That's why I'd pick him for my sneak peek.
Rob, who else do you think is even in the conversation opposite of Cole Ragans, where if I gave you the ability to look into the future, you would take outside of Ragans? Because Ragans just like, I'm not knocking the answer. It seems like such an obvious answer because of his importance to the Royals about what he is. I mean, 2 seasons ago, he was an all-star and made 32 starts. Last year, he made 13 starts and pitched in 120 fewer innings this season. So if you're telling me for 2026, hell, you didn't got to show me any other stats. Show me how many innings Cole Ragans pitches in 2026, and I'll take that information. And I think I can tell you basically how the Royal season's going to go based off that information. If you tell me that Cole Ragans pitches in 150 innings this upcoming season, I will then roll the dice on anything else that you are going to give me if you're telling me that I can count on that guy for 26 starts this upcoming season.
The answer is correctly Cole Ragans, but I will say, just to be devil's advocate, Seth Lugo maybe? Seth Lugo, after he got
Text
paid,
line's arguing Noah Cameron just because of the kind of one-season emergence, if he can repeat it and do it again.
The reason I would say Seth Lugo is, remember Seth Lugo got the contract last year. That was around the trade deadline.
Yeah, for sure.
He basically got paid and was terrible. It was like ink hit pin, his ability to pitch disappeared. People were talking about trading him for a prospect plus to like the Cubs. And then he signed that deal. His body started breaking down a little bit, and he was not the same pitcher he was. So do I think he'll bounce back? Yes, but like it's a concerning trend in the year for a 30-plus-year-old. So maybe Seth Lugo?
Yeah, I mean, I think you could really sell me, too, on Noah Cameron. I mean, we're not even at the 150 innings mark, at least when it comes with him. He did kind of just emerge out of nowhere. I mean, this is a really solid year for a 25-year-old. Had a sub-3 ERA, pitched 140 innings, made 24 starts last year, was very good in his 24 starts. I mean, if there's one thing that you feel very optimistic about heading into the season, it's just the amount of pitching, starting pitching that they have. I also like the moves that they've made with the bullpen. I don't think you have much question about the Royals' arms and what they've been able to build and accumulate. I really think the question comes down to, A, are they going to make a move when it comes to the lineup? They haven't really made that move yet. And A, are you going to get a contribution from Carter Jensen? Let's see the kind of season that he has from start to finish. And Jack Caglione. Jack Caglione is going to be on the opening day roster for this team. Day one, he is going to be given every opportunity to have success with the big league club. Does he go out and have success? Coming up in the 3 o'clock hour, Aaron Ladd is going to call into the show. A lot of things to get his thoughts and opinions on. We'll get back to Mizzou coming up in a bit as Mizzou gets a very important win yesterday against Tennessee. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison and Rob Brenton.
You losers is what you are.
On your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I own a coffee shop, and I wanted to label everything with our logo.
That's ambitious.
Cups, boxes, bags.
Ooh, that'll add up.
Not at all, because right now, Staples prints custom labels for 30% off.
30% off? That's shockingly affordable branding.
Yep, now our logo and URL are seen all over town.
Brand your business for less at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in store, online, or in the app by 4/4 to unlock. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Let's go! You're still grooving, still connecting, still loving, still turning up, still thriving. You still got it, but your immune system, it weakens as you age. That's where vaccines come in. They help train and strengthen your immune response to fight off respiratory illnesses like flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, or COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Book in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
At Casey's, when someone asked for a cup of coffee that wouldn't put them in debt, but still had freshly ground beans, rich flavor, and a price that starts with a 9 and ends with a D9 cents, we were too nice to say no. Now get a small coffee, just 99 cents. Limited time only. See store for details.
Advent Health welcomes the KC Golf Show February 27th through March 1st at the Overland Park Convention Center. Test drive golf's big brands, shop 100 exhibits, and swing and putt for prizes. Front door rounds of golf and tickets at kansascitygolfshow.com.
DQ presents the Spicy Menu. For a limited time, try the new Flamethrower Chicken Strip Basket for $6.99 with spicy bold strips that heat you up. served with a side of famous DQ soft serve as a dip to cool you down. That's right, dip those spicy chicken strips right into soft serve, plus fries and toast, all for just $6.99. And add a new pineapple lemonade sparkler or cooler made with tahini. It's the limited time only Swisey menu. Get it delivered in the DQ app. Happy tastes good. Participation may vary.
Jerry Seinfeld is back. You stream everything now. We don't watch anything. We stream it. Wandering around your workplace trying to recruit new viewers into whatever stupid show you like. Jerry, you gotta watch this show. Okay, I'll check it out. Okay, but the first 4 seasons are not good.
Jerry Seinfeld, live in Kansas City, Starlight Theater, Friday, September 18th. Tickets on sale Friday at 10 a.m. at kcstarlight.com.
Wouldn't you like to take a vacation from your bills? Well, you can. With credit card balances at an all-time high and Golden Oak's 4.5% rate, you could be saving thousands of dollars after a simple phone call. Call today and get your cash in as little as 14 days and make no payments for 2 months. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Landing cured my blues.
5.442 APR, FHA 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit, additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
Save $10 on a pair of Rain-X Latitude wiper blades at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Our professional parts people will even install them for free.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
How do airplanes fly? What's in this box? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Learn how to store your gun securely and make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I own a coffee shop, and I wanted to label everything with our logo.
That's ambitious.
Cups, boxes, bags.
Ooh, that'll add up.
Not at all, because right now, Staples prints custom labels for 30% off.
30% off? That's shockingly affordable branding.
Yep, now our logo and URL are seen all over town.
Brand your business for less at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in-store, online, or in the app by 4/4 to unlock. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Let's go.
You're still grooving, still connecting, still loving, still turning up, still thriving. You still got it, but your immune system, it weakens as you age. That's where vaccines come in. They help train and strengthen your immune response to fight off respiratory illnesses like flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, or COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Book in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
This one brought to you by DM Injury Law. We've got a stall slowing you down at Seabrad, 435 northbound on the ramp to 70 eastbound. Right lane is blocked. That wreck downtown 35 at front, that is gone, but I do still see some yellow, some slow go there through downtown. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Subscribe to 96.5 The Fan on YouTube to watch the show from wherever you are.
Aaron Ladd is going to join us in the show coming up in about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I don't know. Whenever Rob just makes the decision to call Aaron Ladd, then he will be on the show. So, Rob, let's get back to talking about Missouri. And if you are taking a look at Joe Lunardi's bracketology, which I usually don't look at bracketology. That's normally not my thing. But when my team finds themselves on bracketology, I don't really have a choice. I got to be looking at it. So right now on bracketology, he has Duke, UConn, Michigan, and Arizona. Those are the 4-1 seeds. He has Kansas as a 3 seed. He has them as the 10th overall seed in the NCAA tournament. Now you scroll all the way down the page to Missouri. They're on there. Last 4 buys. So these are the teams that would narrowly avoid Dayton. Texas A&M, who Missouri beat. Texas, who smoked Missouri. And Auburn, another team that Missouri beat. So all 4 of the teams that Joe Lunardi has sneaking into the NCAA tournament, all of those teams he has in the SEC. Now, in the last 4 in, so the teams that would go to Dayton, he has Santa Clara, TCU, Indiana, and New Mexico. I do think the TCU, they seem like a team that's just destined to play at 6:30 on True TV on a Tuesday in Dayton, Ohio. Rob, this does feel like the right side to be on for Missouri. They do feel like with the wins that they have in the SEC, they do feel like they are a team that should be able to avoid going to Dayton for that first 4. The only thing that really worries me about Missouri is how much are they going to be penalized for the non-con. They just don't really have a great non-conference schedule, and you just never know what the committee is going to value. Now, Missouri doesn't have a bad loss this season. Like, they don't have a loss to a team that you're sitting there and scratching your head. But they have clearly shown they have played the better teams in college basketball. Illinois is one of those teams. Kansas is one of those teams. They got smoked by those teams. They got smoked by Alabama earlier this year that Joe Lunardi has as a top 16 seed, has them as a 4 seed. Outside of that, they've been pretty competitive against just about everybody else. They just didn't really beat anybody outside of the SEC this season.
It's why, you know what I'd like to see? We saw it over the weekend. The NCAA releases their top 16 seeds, where it's like, hey, if the season ended today, so-and-so's a 1 seed, so-and-so's a 2 seed. And that's nice to know. But you know what I wish they did? They announced the bottom 8. So you kind of got a feel for what the committee is looking at. Because I truly don't know what the committee looks for. Because Lunardi has them in a different place than Field of 68 does. Field of 68 has them in a different place than Jerry Palm does. Jerry Palm has them in a different place than so I don't know. If you are a firm believer in, hey, you play in a Power 4 conference, you're winning conference games, hey, you don't have any bad losses, then you would have to be, hey, Mizzou's a lock. They're an 11 seed, but not Dayton. They're a 10 seed. They can play their way up. But Joe Lunardi has them in Dayton, which I don't understand. I guess Lunardi is dinging them for not having a non-con. They basically didn't play a non-conference season this year.
Joe has them right outside of Dayton.
Okay, it's right.
Just firmly right outside. 1 loss, 1 misstep. And it's also important to note, Joe can be wrong. Like, we kind of treat Joe Lunardi because he's at the top of the mountain that, hey, what Joe says goes. Joe gets things wrong all the time on the bracketology. Now that just comes with the business, but we could go through this. There are going to be teams that he has as a 5 seed that end up being a 7 seed in the NCAA tournament. There's a team that he has as a 10 seed that's going to end up being a 6 seed. That's just kind of how it looks when you're given these kind of predictions and you're trying to forecast how 11 people are going to think. So I am going into this just because Joe Lunardi says that they're safe in avoiding Dayton. That does not mean that Missouri is for sure avoiding Dayton. So you got to continue to put your own work in if you're Missouri. You got a game coming up on Saturday against Mississippi State. That is not a good basketball team. If you are an NCAA tournament team and you are still fighting, like, you should not feel comfortable if you are Missouri. You're not firmly in the NCAA tournament. It is in your best interest to beat Mississippi State this weekend on the road. Now, if you lose on the road to Oklahoma, I'm not expecting Missouri to go 2-0 on the road in SEC play. They're not that kind of team. But I'm still looking at it like Missouri needs to go 2-1. You got a home game against Arkansas. You beat Arkansas, I think you're firmly in the NCAA tournament. You're just going to be able to turn in a lot of good wins for a bubble team. But if you can figure out a way to win one of these 2 games on the road against Mississippi State or Oklahoma, you pick the one. I don't care which one it is. I don't know if you should be nervous on Selection Sunday. If they do less than that, I'm going to be a little bit nervous watching the selection show on CBS.
Maybe it's because you've been a Mizzou fan and you know how these things work. I think 1 and 2 and you're safely in. Now, maybe you're worried about Dayton if you're 1 and 2, but what about Missouri's resume right now has you sweating? They have marquee wins. They have road wins. They don't have bad losses. Like, they feel like they're in the top, They're 60th in the net. Like, if you're telling me the net matters, they're one of the top 60 net programs. Like, what more does Missouri have to do? Now, if they go 1 and 2, maybe they beat Oklahoma and lose Mississippi State and Arkansas. Okay, now you start sweating Dayton a little bit, but I think Missouri should be considered a lock to make the NCAA tournament at this point in time.
Yeah, I guess what would bother me about Missouri, and we always talk about messages that this committee wants to send. Can you schedule like Missouri and feel confident about making the NCAA tournament? I mean, their non-con wins. Howard, SEMO, VMI, Minnesota. Now, they smoked Minnesota. That's not a bad team. If that's your marquee non-con win, you didn't do a great job in non-con. Prairie View A&M, South Dakota, South Carolina State, Cleveland State, Alabama State, Bethune-Cookman. That's who they played in non-con. So I guess the question would be, is the committee sending the message that you don't really need to challenge yourself in non-con. Just do fine in conference play, and you'll ensure that you'll make the NCAA tournament. That's where I'm not sure if we can 100% assess how the committee is going to view that they are going to potentially have the worst non-con of any Power 4 team that will make the NCAA tournament.
You're right. I cannot attest for if the committee is trying to prove a point here. My guess would be that they're in, but the committee is going to punish them on the seed line for that tournament, for that non-con. Like, let's say they had played – Kansas is a dramatic example because Kansas plays a crazy non-con. Let's say they had played a respectable non-con. They played actual Power 5 team.
Like, I'm even looking at it right now. Like we can go through Texas's non-con. Texas beat NC State in non-con, and that's kind of about it.
If Missouri had played – you know what Missouri really needed this year? And
but you'd rather have NC State as a non-con win than have Minnesota as a non-con win.
Why did Missouri not play an MTE this year? Those MTEs are absolutely designed for free non-con wins.
Just get one of them.
Just get one.
Just get one of them.
I don't know if Texas played NC State in an MTE. I have no idea the Texas schedule offhand.
Yeah, it's a neutral site, so I'm guessing
I'm betting it is. Why is Missouri not one of those? I mean, even K-State was in the one in Kansas City, the T-Mobile Center one. They played Nebraska.
Actually, now looking at it, I think they probably played Maui. Like, they played Arizona State, Chaminade, and NC State in 3 consecutive days. They played in the Maui Invitational. That's how they got that non-con win.
That's what Missouri needed desperately in their non-con. Why were they scheduling Bethune-Cookman when they could have been at the Disney Classic or whatever? Because that's where you get the free, hey, you beat a team that Arizona State, they're 9th in the conference. Who knows? Like, that's what Missouri needed. But I think they're going to get punished on the seed line for what happened to them in non-con more than in or out. Like, if Missouri played a real non-con, I think maybe there'd be like a 9 seed right now because their resume is not bad. I think the only reason they're considered a bubble team is because their non-con was, a non-con the Ruse should be playing. Just comical.
Someone on the text line 913-586-7965. Mizzou is going to lose to Mississippi State. It's what they do. They have a good win. You get a little bit hype, and boom, they lose a game that they never should have lost. I can't tell you that you're wrong. Mississippi State is not a good basketball team. To give you an idea of how bad Mississippi State is, they got 20-balled by K-State this season. They got a 20-piece by K-State this year. They are 13-14. They're 5-9 in SEC play. This is not a good basketball team. They're not a good basketball team at all. Not even a little bit.
Now they got the one kid. The Hubbard kid can hoop. They got one kid.
That's it. That's all they got.
That is their team. If you can hold him down.
Nah, he's a hooper.
He can score.
I'm sitting there looking at it. He had 46 points 5 days ago in SEC play. So, yes, he can be a problem. He can have buckets. And you are going on the road, and it is Missouri. I could see him just shooting 2 for 17 from 3, and you're just screaming at the television because of how frustrating they are. I'm not telling you that you're wrong. But this is one you need if you're Missouri. You absolutely need to go on the road and beat Mississippi State. Rob, really quickly, before we call a dear friend of the show, Aaron Ladd, I want to tell you this is the number one thing I learned this Chiefs offseason. Because you guys are like, oh, what about? No, I don't. It's over. This is going to be by far and away the number one thing that I learned. Dave Toub is Curtis Townsend. For those of you who are KU fans, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Dave Toub is Curtis Townsend. I absolutely believe that if Dave Toub was the special teams coach for the Broncos, I think he would have got fired. If he was a special teams coach for the Rams, probably would have been fired. If he was a special teams coach for pick your other team in the National Football League, either A, they already fired their coach, or they just would have been like, hey, especially after the season that they had in the special teams department, I think that Dave Toub would have been let go. The fact that Dave Toub, his name never came up to lose his job, it was never insinuated that he was going to lose his job, and how poor their special teams was. Their kicker regressed this season. They have not developed a kick or a punt returner in 4 years. Sky Moore, they couldn't find any positive use for him in Kansas City. He then goes to San Francisco and then turns into one of the best punt returner and kick returner in the National Football League this year. Dave Toub has not done a good job. But boy, Andy Reid loves him some Dave Toub. Kind of the way that Bill Self loves Curtis Townsend. Curtis Townsend might have the best job in the Kansas City metro area. If you're counting Lawrence as the metro area, the 913-785-816, if you were counting all of those things, you cannot tell me a person who has a better job than Curtis Townsend. We looked this up today because I was genuinely curious. I was asking Rob, I was like, how much do you think Curtis Townsend makes? I didn't tell Rob my take. How much money do you think he makes? I was like, I don't know, like $300,000. I was like, oh, all right, let me look it up. $500,000. $500,000. He's worked at Kansas for 20 years. I mean, making $500,000 to live in Lawrence, Kansas, you're basically Jeff Bezos. I mean, come on now. You're basically Warren Buffett. You're Bill Gates if you make $500,000 a year and you live in Lawrence, Kansas. Dave Tobe is Andy Reid's Curtis Townsend. That's who he is. Curtis Townsend will, as long as Bill Self is alive, Curtis Townsend will always have a job. He will always be able to do something. That's Dave Tobe. That's what I learned this offseason. That's the number one thing I learned this offseason.
I mean, Dave Tobe has quite literally been here since Andy Reid got hired, and their special teams has not always been perfect. He's a made man. He's not going anywhere in Kansas City.
Let's head to the phone lines right now to be joined by, I wish this person would be my Curtis Townsend. Aaron Ladd of KMOU in Columbia joins us on the show. Aaron, how you doing, man?
You don't need a fall guy, Dot. You ain't doing nothing bad around there. All you do is go to the studio and play video games at home.
You know what? I'm happy to have you on the show today, man. I saw you a little bit down since J. Cole's Honda broke down, man. You help him out?
Good. You up here big enough any Drake single that dropped in the last 2 years, trying to say the beef ain't that bad, but you want to talk bad on J. Cole's last effort? A double disc in hip-hop? It was solid.
Okay, I was just asking. I just wanted to know how you were holding up since he was on his cross-country tour. There's actually real sports things to talk to you about. I'm really excited to have you on the show today. You know what? You arriving in Columbia, that may have been what actually turned Missouri's basketball season around. They were not having a good basketball season until you stepped on campus.
It was looking ugly for a minute there. I'm not going to lie. I mean, the bragging rights game, there was nothing to brag about. And the border war game really wasn't much of a battle either. But, you know, it's crazy what happens when your team gets healthy. And I hate shooting Dennis Gates bail because he was begging for his guys to get healthy. And then they did around the turn of the SEC play. And they're starting to find their chemistry. They're starting to find their stride. It was the Mark Mitchell show for the first half of the year, and now he's been steadied by the reinforcements. Jaden Stone, T.O. Barrett has a career night last night. They're in. I mean, I don't really think the bubble is even the conversation anymore. It's all about seeding now and which first and second round city we're going to be having some drinks in.
Do you think they need to do a little bit more work? The reason I ask that is, I mean, if you go through their non-con, I mean, I don't know if there's a Power 4 team that's going to have a worse non-con that makes a tournament than Missouri. I mean, they played Minnesota, and they basically played the SWAC. I mean, that's basically who they played in the non-con. That's the only thing that worries me about Missouri is the committee is going to kind of send a message, hey, you guys got to play somebody in the non-con. And Missouri they didn't really challenge themselves in November or December.
But, brother, look at the wins, specifically the Quad 1 wins. You just beat Tennessee last night. You got another win over Vanderbilt in the SEC. You've beaten Florida, which a lot of teams can't say. There's another team that I'm missing off the top of my head. But they've won games. They have impressive wins on their resume. I get the non-con cupcake schedule. They played Missouri Southern and SEMO and all the other teams. They had a bad loss against Notre Dame. I get that, but SEC wins are still SEC wins. I know the SEC isn't what it was last year, but it's still a good conference, and Missouri's held their own. They're going for 10 wins with 3 games left inside conference play.
I would say watching this Missouri team, I would say that Dennis Gates made 2 adjustments, and it has saved Missouri's season. Number 1, it is sitting Anthony Robinson down and replacing him with T.O. Barrett. I would also say, and you and I have talked about this in the past, you just can't run a successful basketball team playing 11 people. That's just not the way that basketball works. I feel like once Missouri was just forced to really shrink down their rotation, and a lot of it was due to injury. I mean, Boateng had the injury, Porter had the injury. Once Gates was forced to only play 8, you have seen a noticeable difference in their basketball team.
Yeah, Trent Pierce, the emergence of him as well. And the problem has been consistency. And I feel like Gates is kind of playing whack-a-mole at the head coach spot, trying to figure out who's going to be the guy that scores 12 points on an average night, especially on the road. I mean, they've been a complete night and day Jekyll and Hyde team as far as their home and road splits. The Anthony Robinson thing is frustrating, and I've aired my frustrations in our text messages, considering he's a veteran player who you've committed to and really has shown strides in previous seasons. All the metrics are pointing to where he's not a player that has contributed much as of late, but who is it going to be that contributes for you down the stretch of your other guys? We know Stone, we know Trent Pierce, and Mark Mitchell are going to get around 20 points each, so they're 60. Can I almost called him Caleb Grill. Can Jacob Cruz score points?
They all look alike, huh, Aaron? They all look alike.
Rob Brenton out there, yeah. Can Rob Brenton give you 3 threes in the corner? I mean, you got to have your other step up. It's March, man. I would like to see them make a run in Nashville. It's been a minute since that team has really given you anything as far as the conference tournament is concerned. And we know the committee can be swayed in those last final days. Let's say Mizzou goes down there and wins a pair or gets to the final couple days. I think that can make an impact on their seeding as well.
Do you think that Nashville as a city is overrated, underrated, or properly rated?
It's white Atlanta, first and foremost. For me personally, it's just not the type of vibe that I like to get down with. You know, the honky-tonk and the boots and the live music. You know, it's just not how I want to spend a Friday night or a Saturday night. But I could see the appeal for that crowd specifically. I had a good time the one time I went, but I'm more of a Memphis, Chattanooga guy over Nashville.
Rob loves Nashville. Like, Rob loves Nashville the way you love Denver.
So he's got boots. He's got flat. Did you let him borrow a flannel of yours?
I don't know. I don't know what it is with Rob in Nashville, but just anytime you mention it, he just gets this. He gets this glimmer in his eye. Like, he loves Nashville.
Would you prefer Nashville or Bourbon Street in New Orleans?
I'd much rather go to New Orleans than go to Nashville.
Yeah, see, that's the two Americas. So we found it. We found another one.
Right now, we're joined by Aaron Ladd joining us on the show today. And you mentioned it about seed-wise. What do you think the ceiling seed is for Missouri? And I'm guessing that we agree the floor is them playing TCU or Indiana and Dayton.
I think last night secured them getting off that Dayton spot. You know, I'm in the driver's seat here at KOMU now. I'm trying to do all the planning logistically. And, if they win these last couple games, then maybe they could get off. And there's that nightmare scenario where they're in the first four. I think that we've passed that. I think the win over Tennessee pushes them to the 8-9 line. Now, obviously, they've got the 3 games left, Mississippi State, OU, and then Arkansas before heading to Nashville. That's where, and I was just talking with our buddy Jared Sutton about this, that's where you really can start to see if this team has found that gel. Remember last year, 2025, that team that had some high highs and really peaked during SEC play just to blow it out and lose in the first round and really not look like the right version of themselves the rest of the year. Maybe this team is peaking at the right time, finding the pieces and consistency as the calendar turns to March as opposed to February. We'll see in these next 3. I mean, Mississippi State, there's no reason you should lose to that game. I kind of feel the same way about OU, but hey, it's on the road. Then you get that rematch against Calipari and Arkansas before heading to Nashville. I would love to see a 2-2 at the very least. Maybe 3-1, 4 and something. We'll see.
All right, I have 2 questions to get you out of here. The first question is, do you think that Dave & Buster's is a good first date idea?
It's a great first date idea. It's an activity. You can get out of your comfort zone. Now, it's a little pricey, so, I mean, obviously you got to have the seat-out money or the Rob Brenton money. You can't be balling on a budget if you're going to the Dave & Buster's. But, yeah, it's fun. It's an activity. You do the drink date, coffee date thing that's played out. That's so you're still asking me for date ideas, not?
No, I just wanted to know. I know this is your wheelhouse. I try to, you know what? I got to give you the ball on your spots on the floor. You're like, this is an elbow jumper for you. You're Tim Duncan when it comes to these questions.
Yeah, Dave & Buster's is great. I mean, that's if you want to keep it local and get a little sponsorship, Up Down. I mean, I took many a date to Up Down back in my heyday.
When you go to Dave & Buster's, what do you play? Because I love the little Connect 4 hoops.
Yeah, I'll do a Pop-A-Shot. I'm good for, like, the Dance Dance Revolution game.
Yo, you're playing Dance Dance Revolution in 2026 on a date? You got the Old Spice?
Okay, well, I'm not break dancing.
I'm just asking. I wanted to know.
I'm not breakdancing, but yeah, I hit the 1-2, the cha-cha slide real quick, hit the stanky leg in the middle of Dave and Buster's.
Have you ever gone on a date with a girl and you asked her to pay the tip?
No.
Okay, I'm just curious.
I
was curious to know.
Flag on the play. Absolutely.
I was curious to know. I just didn't know. Maybe she has to contribute something. But I guess my question would then be, I've never done this either, but my question would then be, what makes that different than, and I know you've done this before, you go to a movie, then you say, I'll get the tickets, you get the popcorn and the drinks. That's the exact same to me.
I don't like to carry it that way. Like, I have done the tip thing when it's like a cash situation. Like, let's say we valet our car, I'll grab dinner, but hey, I don't have any cash on me. You got a 10 that you could give to the bellhop or whatever. Sure, that seems like that's in play. But if I just paid on my card and then I turn to you and say, hey, you got the tip, I feel like it's a little bit of a faux pas. We got to have some class here, Doc.
Okay, I was just curious to know. Rob, I would like to tell you, I saw Aaron like 2 weeks ago. He took me to a place I'd never been before, Beckett's in the Crossroads. It was a great time. I tried to have Ladd do the little Wade Boggs challenge with me. He was not interested.
It's not my vibe, neither is Beckett's.
I've actually been to Beckett's. I'm too old for Beckett's. That's what I've learned. I got 3 in from my age.
I mean, Aaron was a kid in a candy store. I'm just looking around, and this was Aaron's wheelhouse. That's why I never heard of this place before. I then look around, and it made a lot of sense to me why Aaron's name was up in the rafters.
How can my place be up in the rafters at a new establishment? Make that make sense, C-Dot.
Aaron, I appreciate you for coming on our show today. Thank you. Our ratings, they spiked with your appearance on the show. We appreciate everything you've done for 96.5 The Fan.
Yeah, well, if you could just send that payment to my people, it'd be greatly appreciated.
Okay, well, I paid for 2 rounds of drink the last time I saw you. This is what he was like, you got it? You got it? Okay, I'll pay for it. You're making a scene now. Thanks, Aaron. That's what he did. We go up there. He's like, oh, hey, you know how when somebody clearly wants you to pay? This is what happened. We go up to the bartender, and he's like, oh, man, they got a cookie shop. Man, I kind of want to try it. And I'm like, you want me to get it, Aaron? He's like, yeah, you can. You got it. Okay, all right. I was like, I'll get you. If you want one, I'll pay for it. I've helped you. And then people start bringing up stuff they've done for you in the past and things they've paid for. All right, it's not that big of a deal. I got you. That's what it's like to hang out with Aaron Ladd. Coming up in the 4 o'clock hour, Brandon Kiley is going to be on the show. We'll talk a little Chiefs. We'll sprinkle in a little bit of Mizzou. Keep it right here. So drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5, The Fan.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-269-3454. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-269-3454 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-269-3454 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-269-3454.
Stay warm and worry-free with Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter. Get a new furnace absolutely free with the purchase of select HVAC systems. The pros at Hamilton make upgrading easy with flexible financing, expert installation, and energy-efficient options that can help lower your monthly energy bills. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews, plus our exceptional service guarantee, are great reasons to trust Hamilton. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon.
Hello?
You won't believe where I am.
Are you running?
Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing. Mom, how do you feel? I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture, and then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Furnished by IntelliBrands.
Have you ever felt leg pain, restlessness, cramps, tingling, swelling, numbness, itchiness, or coldness? Then you need the new patented Legsercise Pro, the natural circulation booster that uses continuous automatic leg movement to soothe pain and promote healthy circulation the natural drug-free way.
Using Legsercise made walking painless again.
Legsercise Pro's patented walking simulator propulsion technology moves your feet back and forth along its concave track, creating constant movement and flex at both the knee and ankle joints. It's like having a physical therapist right in your own home.
I have much less swelling and no more tingling.
Call right now and order your very own Legsercise Pro, the new proven automatic leg mover that soothes pain and naturally promotes healthy circulation. Call 800-555-1212. That's 800-555-1212. 800-555-1212 now.
These statements and products have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
DQ presents the Spicy Menu. For a limited time, try the new Flamethrower Chicken Strip Basket for $6.99 with spicy, bold strips that heat you up. Served with a side of famous DQ soft serve as a dip to cool you down. That's right, dip those spicy chicken strips right into soft serve, plus fries and toast, all for just $6.99. And add a new pineapple lemonade sparkler or cooler made with tahini. It's the limited time only Spicy Menu. Get it delivered in the DQ app. Happy tastes good. Participation may vary.
This update is brought to you by Ollie's Bargain Outlet.
Savings! Discounts, the best bargains.
At Ollie's, we've got brand name merchandise at up to 70% off the fancy store prices every day.
I get to keep more money in my pocket.
Ollie's! Good stuff, cheap! Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
We've got a crash now near Independence, 435 southbound just before 24 Highway. Right lane is blocked. Blue Springs, you're slow in that area. 70 eastbound just past Little Blue Parkway. Scoot to the left. That is a stall block in the right lane. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome to your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, Rob. Would you like to start with Rashee Rice in this segment or start with Tyreek Hill? When you label this in the podcast page, just call this troubled wide receivers. Just troubled wide receivers. That's how I want you to label this. Would you like to start with the Rashee Rice story, or would you like to start with the Tyreek Hill story to get things moving?
Let's go old to young and start with Tyreek Hill.
Okay, let's start with Tyreek Hill. Jason Lockenfora spoke with an anonymous NFL general manager. He said this about Tyreek Hill, quote, "We're not touching him. No chance. We think he's done. He's not a difference maker anymore. The juice isn't worth the squeeze. He's not even a guy we would consider on the veteran minimum for us." Which team do we think this is? That's the first part. What team general manager do we think said this about Tyreek Hill? He's not even a guy you would take a chance on a veteran minimum. Regardless of how you feel about off the field on Tyreek Hill, you wouldn't roll the dice on the veteran. It's $500,000. If he doesn't make it, then he doesn't make the team. Cut him and move on with your life. You wouldn't take a chance on a vet minimum for Tyreek Hill? This has Tennessee Titans written all over it. That's what it is. It has Tennessee Titans written all over it. A little bit of history with Kansas City, so you know Tyreek a little bit better than other organizations. And no, you're not pairing him with your young quarterback.
I don't know what team it is.
You wouldn't take a chance on a vet minimum?
I mean, that part's crazy. I do think it's a window into, and the GMs around the league know the medicals better than me, you and I.
For sure.
One of them is saying they're bad. That's what he's actually saying. I mean, he's using a lot of hyperbole to really hype it up and give it a little gas, but I mean, he's basically saying Tyreek Hill, his body is broken. That's what he's saying. And if his body is broken, if that's what the news going around the combine, I've always been a no on Tyreek Hill, but if his body is broken, hard no.
How many years has Tyreek been in the league? Because I can then answer what the veteran minimum.
He came in at 15 or 16?
So this is probably year 7 or 8 for Tyreek Hill? Maybe a little more than that?
I would have said 8 or 9.
Okay, so yeah, $1.3 million then. $1.3 million if you've been in the league for 7 years or longer.
If he's done?
Yeah, I would take, but come on now. Any team, I don't care who you are, you should be willing to roll the dice on Tyreek Hill on a $1.3 million deal. If it doesn't work, then just release him. What does it matter?
I agree with you there. He's definitely gassing it up, but it is worth noting.
Tyreek should have a pro day. That's what Tyreek should have. Tyreek should have a pro day when he gets healthy. In August, I know he would never do this. Pro players don't do this. But you should just have, I'm going to come out, I'm going to run the 40, I'm going to run routes. I want you guys to see that I can still play. Now, I assume he'll work out for somebody, but you can't really have a more damning statement than that when it comes to a former, or I guess a current NFL general manager. We're not touching him, no chance. We think he's done. He's not a difference maker. The juice isn't worth the squeeze. Not a veteran minimum guy anymore. It's like a Chat GPT statement. You checked all the boxes on Tyreek Hill. You wasn't playing around.
Again, we'll ignore the vet minimum part. That's crazy. I don't think it's crazy to say his difference maker days are behind him.
That might be true.
That one seems plausible to me. Now, I wouldn't touch him, no, but the fact that he might be done and he might be behind difference maker days maybe well in his past, that's kind of how I feel about Tyreek Hill. I don't think people understand the magnitude of the injury he had. This is not Adrian Peterson at 25 tearing his ACL. This was a massive problem with still more surgery on deck. So it doesn't surprise me that one GM is saying, whoa.
Can I read you this Rashee Rice thing?
Is this also from an anonymous GM?
No, this is not.
Okay. I would love to guess that anonymous GM.
I just saw this online. So he has a sponsorship. Shout out to Rashee Rice. He's got a sponsorship. So this is the first time in my life I've ever gone to Rashee Rice's Instagram, because why would I be over there? It's not a place for me. He tweeted on his story, "The blessings keep coming this year, so I had to put y'all on. I'm locked in with this app that you can play games on your phone and it pays you. So if you're trying to make some more bread in 2026, go tap in. To make a real bag with this, make sure you're playing multiple games daily, because the more you play, the more you gonna make. Putting the link on my next story if you're trying to run it up." How much do you think right now it would cost to have Rashee Rice have a sponsored post for your business right now? It's got to be cheap right now. I'm serious. If you're a clothing, this is like a garage sale. You know how you're about to move and you just don't want to take all of this stuff with you to your next home. So you're just giving, here, do you want this? $10, $5, $2. Here, just take it. I'm not walking it back in. I bet right now this is the cheapest you could ever get an NFL player to endorse your stuff. If you got a clothing brand or a podcast and you got a little cash to help put on the books, man gonna be in jail for 30 days. You need commissary. You got lawyer fees. You got child support. You know his car insurance through the roof right now. How much do you think his car insurance is after that? This man trying to get money from anybody at this point.
He also did it in a rental. That's going to hurt the old insurance.
Then the link. Do you want me to click on this link? My phone might explode. Let me click on the link. Hold on. I want to get paid to play games. Hold on. Let me see.
I wouldn't be clicking that link on the company Wi-Fi, but go with your gut.
Let me see. I'm serious. Let me click on it. Hold on. Let me click on it. I'm going to type it on the computer. So if my computer goes to Fritz, then what does it matter?
And about 90 seconds away from random clip playing
You're going to start hearing sounds.
I'm going to be quick on the dump.
You know what it's going to sound like? It's actually about to sound like an award show. That's what it's going to sound like. This is from Playful Rewards. Earn rewards. Take surveys. Earn rewards is what it says.
Oh, so it's one of those sites where you take surveys that give you money and you can use it.
This is what Rashee Rice is endorsing on his Instagram page. You don't want to help Rashee Rice out. He's going through a tough time. That's not what he said. He said the blessings keep coming in this season. I don't know how the blessings could be coming in when your baby mama was on Instagram saying that you was hitting on her. I don't know how the blessings are coming in. She's currently suing you for $1 million. Maybe this is what he has to do to help pay the settlement.
Do we think he's a paid endorser, or he's actually just doing the surveys to get the $7 of cash back?
I don't know. I'm telling you right now, if you got a clothing brand that you're trying to get pop, I would reach out to Rashee Rice's agent and see how much it is. I don't think it's that much. I think if he's tweeting out these links on his Instagram story, you could get him for cheap. I wouldn't be shocked if you see Rashee Rice on Cameo this year, just telling happy birthday to kids.
Yeah, Cameo's a weird place, though, because there's some, like, really high-end ones where you're
For
like,
sure.
that's odd. But then there's some ones where it's like the third bit character from The Office for $4. You're like, what is happening?
The text line says that he should go endorse 1587 kicks. Patrick Mahomes would never speak to him again if he did that.
Can you imagine if he's
I
on
would
TV?
never talk to that man again. I'm sorry, God, that tickled me. Going to court in some 1587 sneakers has Rashee Rice is hilarious to me. Oh, man. Salute to Rashee Rice. I mean, just an honest man trying to make a living. That's what he's, an honest man trying to make a living. Rob, you can turn your free time into real rewards with Playful Rewards. Shop your favorite brands, complete fun tasks, scan receipts, answer surveys, and test partner games. Every activity gets you closer to earning gift cards and cash. It's simple. It's simple, Rob. I mean, why work? Why do we need, if you're telling me I can quit this job and I can just stay at home and I can just play solitaire on my phone and get paid, why do any of us work if this is the future? Rashee Rice is trying to change your life. He's trying to tell you about this blessing.
The blessings keep coming is also crazy.
That's what he said. He said the blessings keep coming.
In a year where he was suspended for 6
My
games.
brother, have you Googled your name? It doesn't sound blessed right now. It doesn't. It doesn't feel blessed right now. Not at all.
He also missed the end of the season with concussion. I mean, just blessings abound.
I'm telling you. We need to. You think I'm joking? Can we message his management and see how much would it be to get him to voice the show? I bet you could get him at a cheap price right now. He's doing deals.
I bet you and me get a text if we do that real quick.
They got bigger problems to worry about with Rashee Rice than me and you reaching out to him. Let Brad G text me about Rashee Rice. I'm gonna start reading the lawsuit to him. You focus on this. Don't worry about what we got going on over here. We got Braden Kiley coming up next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for K-State athletics. 96.5 The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
This from brought to you by DM Injury Law. We've got the crash that is 435 northbound at Stadium Drive. Right lane is blocked. In the Triangle, that's a crash. 71 southbound at Bannister. Be prepared to tap your brakes through there. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Rob Sight Ford, KC's Ford volume leader and top rated on Google. 135th and State Line. Rob Sight Ford, your 2025 Ford volume leader. Top rated on Google with 4.8 stars and 3,000 plus reviews. The best selection, best prices, and Kansas City's best customer service. Visit Rob Sight Ford at 135th and State Line. Buy right, save big, and drive home a winner. Only at Rob Sight Ford.
Well, it's Carrington Harrison from The Drive here. Let me ask you a couple of questions. Do you have poor sleep? What about low energy? How about brain fog, a reduced sex drive, weight gain, and workouts that just don't deliver like they used to? Well, the problem could be low testosterone. And the truth is, those testosterone levels can start declining as early as your 30s, 2 or 3% every single year. And before you know it, you just don't feel like the same man you did back in the day. Well, you don't have to accept this as just aging. Heartland Men's Health specializes in customized testosterone therapy and targeted body composition plans. You might think you have low T. Well, pick up the phone and call this number, 844-447-6600, or check out the website and take this simple 10-question quiz. Visit heartlandmenshealth.com. Your initial visit is just $100, includes a medical consultation, a PSA test, and lab results in about 30 minutes, and your treatment can start that day. 3 locations, Overland Park, Independence, North Kansas City. There's no need to wait. Go stop by and see my friends over at Heartland Men's Health.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon.
Hello?
You won't believe where I am.
Are you running?
Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus, 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing. Mom, how do you feel? I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture, and then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Need to sell your house in Kansas City but not sure what the best option is? Selling a home, especially when dealing with foreclosure, divorce, job relocation, or an inherited property, can feel overwhelming. That's why I don't just make offers. I help homeowners understand all their options so they can make the right choice with no pressure and no obligation. I'm Rex, a local homebuyer and resident right here in Kansas City. Whether you're looking for a fast cash sale or just want to explore your choices, I'll walk you through the pros and cons of selling to me or listing with an agent. If selling directly is your best move, I'll offer you a fair cash price and a closing timeline that fits your needs in as little as 7 days or on your schedule. No repairs, no commissions, no hidden fees. Just a transparent, hassle-free process so you know exactly what to expect. Let's talk. Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com for a free, no-pressure consultation. Rex Buys KC, helping homeowners make informed decisions with confidence.
Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? The IRS won't quit until they get your money. Here's great news, fresh from those in the know. Major changes have happened at the IRS. If you owe more than $10,000, you may be eligible for a 99% reduction of what you owe. Haven't filed a return for a while? Their happy clients are talking.
The IRS was going to levy my bank account, but Guardian was able to prevent that and fix all my IRS issues. Thanks again, Guardian Tax.
Need relief from crushing tax debt? The IRS now has special programs. Guardian Tax knows all about them. Personal or business, this is the fresh new brick you've been hoping for.
We aren't the company you call when you need a hug because you're scared of the IRS. Guardian Tax is the company that wins when you need it most.
Guardian Tax Service is really great to work with. They really help me out. I'd recommend them highly.
Call now for a free confidential consultation. 800-499-6623. 800-499-6623. 800-499-6623.
If you're looking for more NFL draft coverage, go subscribe and follow the Character Concerns podcast with Bink and Chris on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. This is your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Let's head to the phone lines. BK's here. BK, how you doing?
I'm great, Tito. What's good?
Normally, I give you a great introduction. I don't want to do that today. We don't have any beef or nothing. I just didn't want to give you a great introduction.
I hope everybody in the audience is familiar. So I think it works.
We were just talking about this, and I want to get your thoughts on it. If you had to play Price is Right closest to the number without going over, how much do you think that Rashee Rice pays for his car insurance every month?
Oh, my God. Man.
It's an astronomical number.
I feel like he at this point he's not driving, right? Like he just does Uber, right? I mean, it's not even worth it.
You think he doesn't have a license? You're saying right now he can't drive a car.
That would be my assumption.
I don't know if he needs to be driving a car, but I'm going to guess that he does drive a car.
If he does pay for it, Price is Right style, I'd say like $250 a month. Does that seem crazy?
Oh, I think that's a low number, I would say. I also would encourage you when you get off the phone, please go to his Instagram page and just look at his Instagram story. And just you'll laugh. We had a good time with it. I imagine that you will have a good time with it too. We're gonna split this up. We'll talk a little bit of Chiefs. We'll talk a little bit of Mizzou. I guess let's start with the Chiefs here, and then we'll get to the college aspect of it. I think this team is going to invest in a running back. Breece Hall doesn't appear like he is going to be an option anymore. That would have been number one on my wish list. He's a 25-year-old, very productive back. They were very interested with him at the deadline. It just didn't come together. Now that he's off the board, I'm also going to guess that Kenneth Walker is probably off the board. I think he re-signs in Seattle. Who do you think RB number one is going to be?
Probably Travis Etienne. That would be my guess. I mean, he seems to fit a lot of what they're looking for, right? I know that we've talked about this in the past. They overcorrect to whatever the problem was from a year ago. The biggest talking point from the Chiefs from 2025 was their lack of explosive plays, and the best element of Etienne's game is his ability to hit that home run. So is it like the perfect schematic fit? Maybe not, but he's the guy that comes in and does the thing that you failed to do a year ago. So at least from the Chiefs' perspective, I would guess he's the top running back on the board this offseason.
Yeah, I'd be very interested in Etienne. I also wouldn't mind if they spent the 40th overall pick on a running back. Spending number 9 on a running back, it's not just the draft selection, it's also the contract. Like, paying Jeremiah Love to be the 9th overall pick, that makes him a top 12 highest paid running back in the league. I just don't know if you could misuse that pick in that way. But if you were telling me that the Chiefs go get, let's say, Kenneth Gainwell on a cheap contract, and then they spend the 40th overall pick on a running back. I mean, you don't have the best RB room in the league, but that is such an upgrade over what you had last season that would suffice.
I think the problem with this year's draft, CDOT, is, and listen, I'm not like an expert on the draft class. I'm coming into it kind of late as everybody else, but man, it seems as though there's basically one running back worthy of a first-round grade and then one running back as a second-round grade, and that second-round grade guy is the guy who backed up the first-round grade. The backup running back at Notre Dame last year seemingly is the number 2 running back in the class, and most of the experts that I've seen don't have another guy graded in the top 50 this year. So I think this is just like a really bad class running back-wise for the Chiefs to go into the draft to select one of the top 50 pick. I think it makes more sense for them because I don't think you're going to have to pay some outlandish price for Etienne. I mean, look at what Javonte Williams just signed for with the Cowboys. I think it could be somewhat similar to what Etienne's going to get on the market. And if that's the asking price, I think it's like a $4 million cap hit this year for Williams. I think that's a more than reasonable request from Etienne. And I think it makes a lot of sense for the Chiefs money-wise to do that. And I think he fits with what they're looking for. So I'd just rather do that. And then you can use all of your top 75 selections in this year's class on something other than the running back position. And then you throw a dart at the board, in the 5th round, the way that they normally do, and hopefully something hits there for you.
You mentioned overcorrecting. That's how they would overcorrect at running back. There's another position they need to overcorrect is when it comes to pass rush. Their pass rush was bad last year across the board. From Chris Jones all the way down. They just didn't generate nearly enough pressure outside of them spending the 9th pick on a defensive lineman, which I think that's the consensus. I think most people think that's the direction that they should go, depending on how the draft falls. What do you think a possible overcorrection could be when it comes to the 9th overall pick?
Wide receiver, overcorrecting to the Rashee Rice news. Is that what you mean? Like positionally or as a defensive lineman?
I was talking about as a defensive lineman, but you also could mention wide receiver. Like, you are right. When they had a problem in the Super Bowl when it came to their offensive line, they just threw every resource imaginable when it came to offensive line the next year. When their defense was bad in 2018, they went out and they got Tyrann Mathieu and they got Frank Clark. So you are right. There's going to be one area that they are going to focus a lot of attention and throw a lot of resources at. I don't know if they're throwing a lot of resources at running back, but they'll throw some. I do agree with you. It's either going to be that D-line or that wide receiver room that they just try to just wholesale changes.
All right. I understand what you're saying now. If you're looking at the defensive line, like I wonder if they make a trade and they make a draft pick at that position. Kayvon Thibodeau is a guy that I keep an eye on. It sounds as though the Giants are at least open to moving him. He's on his 5th-year option. He kind of got blocked last year because over the last couple of years they've drafted over him with Abdul Carter, then the other defensive end that they added with Brian Burns. I wonder if Thibodeau is a guy that could come in and maybe he fits better with what the Chiefs have along their defensive line. What it would take to do that, I don't know. I wonder if, would you give up a 2nd-round pick for Kayvon Thibodeau at this point in time? Would that be too much? I'm honestly not even sure how they would value him, but that kind of a move makes sense. And then if you did that plus, I don't know, you end up drafting a defensive tackle if they end up trading Trent McDuffie and they get the Rams number 29 overall pick and they draft a defensive tackle there as well. Now you've kind of thrown a bunch of resources at the defensive line and you've got Chris Jones, you've got George Karlaftis, you've now traded for a guy like Kayvon Thibodeau and you drafted defensive tackle 29 overall. that's the kind of thing where, all right, suddenly you're feeling a hell of a lot better about where you're at on the D-line.
We had Nate on the show yesterday, and he said that if a first-round pick is not included, then the Chiefs are not trading Trent McDuffie. Do you think that's the right decision by the Chiefs? Because I'm looking at some teams that I think would give them a decent second-round pick. I mean, Tampa Bay is one of those teams. I think you could get pick 45. I think you could pick up a mid-round pick. Outside of the Rams, I don't think there is an obvious team that would give the Chiefs a first-round pick for Trent McDuffie.
It seems weird to me. I mean, they traded Tyreek Hill without including a first-round pick in the deal, right? It was the first-round pick equivalent because of the value of all the picks they got back. But I think that's the way that I would say it. If you're not getting the value of a first-round pick, I probably wouldn't trade Trent McDuffie. But I think somebody, toward the top of the second round could put together a package where it's maybe a 2 plus a 3 or a 2 plus a 4 this year and a 3 next year, something like that. And it could make a lot of sense for the Chiefs. I look at what they're trying to accomplish this offseason. They have a lot of spots where they need to get better. And if there's one thing that I trust this coaching staff to do, it's to figure out what they need to do at the cornerback position. They've done it basically since the moment that Steve Spagnuolo got here. I trust them there. I don't trust them as much to manufacture a pass rush. We saw what that looked like a year ago. I don't trust them as much to be able to figure out this wide receiver problem by just throwing numbers at it. They've tried it. It didn't work. I don't trust them as much to figure out this running back solution right now. They need money to be able to do that. So I just look at the resources they have available to them and what McDuffie does, both from a cap perspective and also the resources in the draft. It makes sense to make the move this offseason. And if that means, hey, the best offer you get is a 2 plus a 3, I wouldn't reject that just because it's not technically including a first-round pick.
Right now, we're talking to Brandon Kiley with ESPN 101 in St. Louis. We'll get to Mizzou here coming up in a bit, but there's a lot of Chiefs offseason stuff. I want to pick his brain. So the text line has kind of been yelling at me a little bit for the last 10 days or so about this. And I don't even really know why, to be completely honest with you. My only stance is I just wouldn't do anything right now with Rashee Rice. Like, I feel like people, you got to cut him now. You got to trade him. No, just let the process play itself out. This is not a criminal case. It is a civil case. Let the civil case play itself out because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if she's going to post another Instagram. She might have a video. She might have a sound recording. Like right now, the fact that there is no sense of urgency, they don't have a game coming up in a couple of days, which just makes it different than what happened with Kareem Hunt. I just don't think the Chiefs need to do anything. I would just sit tight. I would do my investigation. I would try to gather as much information as possible. I would see how the civil lawsuit shapes up. I would then see what the NFL is going to do, and then I would make a decision. The text line, I feel like, wants an earlier conclusion than what I do when it comes to this. How do you feel about what's going on with Rashee Rice?
Yeah, I don't think anything you said is in the least bit controversial. Like, that's how a well-run organization should react in these situations. It sucks. Like, I'm not sure we're going to see Rashee Rice play another game in a Chiefs uniform. I have no idea what his future holds in Kansas City. I would assume at a minimum, this is the last year we'll see him in a Chiefs uniform. And I would anticipate, I know I've heard Nate Taylor say this elsewhere, but I would guess he's looking at a double-digit game suspension at a minimum for the upcoming season. So there's a lot there. But if you're the Chiefs, this is just from my football perspective, right? I'm not making any judgments on who he is as a person or what he's done or what he hasn't done. All of that stuff will play out both legally and also with the NFL's investigation. But if you're operating this team from a pure football perspective, there is no reason right now to make any sort of sweeping reaction to this. It does you no good. It does the team no good. It doesn't gain anything for you. He's likely to be put on some kind of a commissioner's exemption list or whatever while they're doing their conduct stuff off the field. You don't have to make any rash decisions right now. So wait, gather more information, see where this thing goes. He may get suspended for 12 games. At that point, you can make a determination on whether you want him to be back with the team after that 12 games.
You cut him at that point, yeah. Then I would say you cut him. But I would say, and maybe this is where you and I are different, I'm not entirely sure that he's going to be suspended. Now, I understand that his past actions factor into it, but this isn't that much different than what happened last year with Xavier Worthy. It was a he said, she said. He filed a lawsuit against her. She filed one against him. He then settled with her, and then the story kind of went away. And that's why, at least to me, when it comes to this story, I got to see how the story concludes itself. Maybe in a week, this story, she drops the case and the story just kind of goes away and it never really comes up again. And that's just kind of the end of it. Like, I don't know if I can say 100% the league is going to suspend him for a civil matter if that civil matter is wrapped up in a week.
Yeah, I think it's a little different because of the history here. I'd be pretty surprised if Rashee gets off of this with no suspension. I mean, he's got the drag racing thing he had. And this kind of just went away, but remember the bar incident thing that apparently there was the photographer and then maybe it wasn't a thing, but like there's that looming in the background as well. And now you add on top of that this situation. I don't know, man. I think there's probably going to be some kind of a suspension, and I think it's going to be a lengthy one for the upcoming season. But to your point, I don't know that for sure. So you might as well go ahead and wait. There's nothing happening right now on the field. It's not like you're in the middle of the season. That's where this is very different than the Kareem Hunt situation was years ago. You got the benefit of time. So play this thing out, see where it goes, and then ultimately you can make your decision whenever you have more information.
I imagine they're going to get a veteran wide receiver. I want them to go get Mike Evans. I just think he is such a different wide receiver than the one that they have. They're going to get a veteran. They're going to get a Hollywood Juju type. Who's at the top of your list?
I don't know, man. Where are they getting the money for all this stuff? That's the tough part is I think they should. I like the idea of Jawaan Jennings. Like if you just told me, hey, you've got the money to make the move, who are you bringing in? Age-wise, skill-wise, what he brings to the table. I think he is very similar to what Juju was when they brought Juju in 2022. I think he can play in the middle of the field, but I also think he can play a little bit more outside. He's got more size than what they've had previously. I would say Jawaan Jennings would be my guy. I love the idea of Mike Evans. I just don't know that they can do a short-term $20 million per year contract for him, and I think that's the kind of market that he's probably going to be looking for.
Last football question, then we'll talk about Mizzou and we'll get you out of here. Tyreek Hill, the report from Nate is that they're going to monitor the Tyreek Hill situation. I don't think there's any reason not to monitor it. Rob and I agree on this aspect. I think he's going to be kind of like Keenan Allen. Remember, Keenan Allen signed kind of late in the process. He didn't sign until early August. That's kind of how I think Tyreek's going to be. I don't think he's signing in free agency. I don't think there's any reason to sign him during free agency. Let's see how the draft shakes out. And then I think you can evaluate Tyreek, 6 months from now as he's got a little bit more time to heal. I do think Kansas City's firmly going to be in the mix. Where do you sit right now with Tyreek Hill and a possible reunion in Kansas City?
Yeah, so last week, my article over on Arrowhead Pride, if anybody's interested in reading kind of more extensive thoughts on this, I went through the wide receiver situation that they're in right now. And it's not pretty because they've got a cap crunch, they've got a lack of resources in the draft crunch, and then just you look over at the free agent market, man, all these guys are going to get paid. Mike Evans, $20+ million a year. Alec Pierce, you're looking at $25 a year. Even Jawaan Jennings, who I think makes a lot of sense for them, is in that like $15 million range. Same thing for Romeo Doubs. And I don't think any of these guys are true like go-to guys. If you're looking at the market and you're trying to say, hey, who's the guy that can come in next year? And if you don't draft a wide receiver with a number 9 overall selection, they can lead your team in targets if healthy. I think it's Mike Evans is one. I think Tyreek Hill is probably the only other guy really on the market that fits that criteria. I don't like the idea of it. I think it's a headache just waiting to happen for the Chiefs. But again, purely from a football perspective, if you're exclusively looking at it from that side, I get it. I just don't like it.
I would say two things saved Missouri's season. And right now we're talking to BK with ESPN 101 in St. Louis. Two things saved their season. T.O. Barrett's immersion. The way that he has just emerged, it has saved their season. Also, I think what's really helped this team is I think that Dennis Gates was forced to coach traditionally. I think they were just playing too many guys. They were trying to make Luke Northweather a thing. They were trying to make Javon Porter a thing. Once they started playing 7-8 guys the way that they are, I think they've been a much more cohesive, much better defensive basketball team over the last 2 months now that they were forced to really shrink their rotation.
I would add one other thing. Trent Pierce looks like the player he was expected to be. Trent Pierce came in with a lot of hype when he arrived at the University of Missouri. He was a big-time recruit. He's 6'10". He can shoot it. He can dribble. He can do a little bit of everything, right? He's that traditional stretch four kind of guy. And I didn't really see much of that his first couple of years. You'd see moments where the talent would show through, but for the most part, he just kind of floated through games. And this year, I think since he came back from that injury, we've seen him be a guy that can really impact winning. And I would say that's probably the third thing I would add to that list of what's changed, why are they now playing better basketball, and they seem like a lock for the NCAA tournament. I'd throw Trent Pierce into that mix.
Where do you think Missouri lands? I believe they are currently on the correct side of the bubble. I think the question now is, do they avoid going to Dayton? And if you look at Lenardi, he has them like right there on that fringe where they're in the NCAA tournament, but they could be playing TCU on a Tuesday on True TV. Do you think Missouri avoids Dayton?
I think they do. I think they're more likely at this point to get a top 4 seed in the SEC tournament than they are to miss the NCAA tournament. And the reason being, I just think they've got a really good resume, CDOT. You look at their quad 1 wins, like look at their resume compared to Auburn, for example, who basically all year long had been considered a lock for the tournament. They have the same number of quad 1 wins, and Auburn has played, I think, 16 quad 1 games. Mizzou's played 10 of them. So I just think they have a better resume, and at this point, they've stacked up some of those really impressive victories while having 0 bad losses on the season. I think they're basically a lock, and at this point, it's really determining where they're going to be seated. I think they're probably going to end up on like that 8-9 line would be my guess, depending on what happens over the next week or two.
When you go to Dave & Buster's, what activity do you do?
Pop a shot.
Okay. I like the Connect 4 hoops. Have you ever played that before?
Oh, that's a good one. We played that, I think, whenever we went there.
Okay. That's our guy, BK, joining us on the show, ESPN 101 St. Louis. Overall, swell guy. Thanks, BK.
Appreciate you, Steve. Take it easy, man.
That's BK joining us on the show today. We'll get back to serious sports things here coming up in a bit. Rob, you know what? Sometimes I believe that I am judgmental on this show, and some of it just for entertainment value. I mean, honestly, I don't really spend too much time worrying about these things, but it is a radio show. We got to have a little bit of fun. We got to have some humor, but there are some things I judge people on, and that comes from a very genuine place. I was reading earlier today about, Rob, they are about to start the 50th season of Survivor. 50. I remember when Survivor came out. Rob, you would probably remember. This was a show that revolutionized television. 50 years. 50 seasons of this show. And I was thinking to myself, man, who still watches this? Like, who is the intended market? How would they not run out of scenarios? And, Rob, you want to know what maybe made me change my mind and think that I shouldn't judge people the way? Rob, I still watch Law and Order. I mean, how many different of these scenarios can I go through? But it's new every single time. It's like, man, I really hope Benson gets this guy. This guy's a real creep. I want him thrown under the jail. If I can be at season 29 of Law and Order and not even close to being tired of it, how can I judge somebody who still watches Grey's Anatomy? How can I judge somebody that is on season 50 of Survivor? That's your Law and Order. That's your Grey's Anatomy. I can't judge you if you're still into that. How many seasons of Dancing with the Stars are we at? This has got to be a significant amount of Dancing with the Stars. This has to be like season 37 of that show.
I don't know if 37, but
34. I'm just Googled it. 34 seasons of Dancing with the Stars. The first episode of Dancing with the Stars was June 1st of 2005. And that show, there's been 514 episodes of Dancing with the Stars. Some of your wives, girlfriends, she's seen every single episode of Dancing with the Stars. So how can I judge you if you're excited about Survivor 50? Everybody has a Survivor. Rob, you got a Survivor.
I'm gonna say everyone has.
The Simpsons is Survivor.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is season 71 of The Simpsons. I can't make fun of you if you're into this episode.
Now, do you watch all the Law and Orders, like SVU and all of them, or are you just the one? Because, like, if you were like, there are some shows like
I watch Law and Order, SVU, and I watch regular Law and Order. I don't watch organized crime nearly as much, but I mean, I've seen episodes of it, but I watch every episode of regular Law & Order, every episode of Law & Order SVU, every season. I watch it every single year, yes.
The reason I ask is I don't like this show, but a lot of people love NCIS, and now there's
that's their Law & Order.
But there's like 7 iterations now. So if you've rolled out of regular NCIS, but now you're an NCIS New Orleans fan, like, does that count as the same? CSI was this. Yeah, CSI, you're done, but you're still watching CSI Miami. That counts the same to me.
Do you think there's somebody watching all those shows in Chicago? They got Chicago Fire, Chicago Med, Chicago PD, Chicago Therapy Unit. I'm like, bro, what's going on in Chicago?
At least twice a fall, based on football games I watch, there's a super crossover event where all the shows create one super show.
Are you watching that Reggie Dinkins? Are you going to watch that? Because that looks awful.
I will give that a shot.
It looks really, really bad.
I like Tracy Morgan, so I'll give that a shot. I will give it one episode.
You like it enough to watch an episode of that show? I mean, I like everybody likes Tracy Morgan. I'd watch him if he's in a movie. I don't know if I'm watching a television show where Tracy Morgan is the main character of the show.
Yeah, but
I don't know if I got that in me.
The funniest thing I've seen him in, and this is going to be a Two Americas comment, 30 Rock, he's the main character of the show.
I never
and
seen
30
that
Rock's hilarious.
I've never seen that.
You never seen 30 Rock?
Don't even know what it's about.
That's Two Americas, 100%.
30 Rock? Okay,
Tracy Morgan in 30 Rock.
Hold on, I've heard of it before. Let me read the description of the show.
I'm not saying it's his best work because I'm aware of the Two Americas.
Let me see the description of the show.
It's an old show, but yeah, it's fantastic work.
Hold on, let me pull it up. Liz Lemon, the head writer of a sketch comedy show,
Tina Fey,
must deal with an arrogant new boss and a crazy new star while trying to run a successful television show without losing her mind.
It's SNL.
Oh, that doesn't sound bad.
You know what they did? They parodied a show about SNL.
That doesn't sound bad. I'm telling you, that show sounds like it'd be a lot better if it was on HBO than it'd be on NBC.
100%.
But it's on NBC. But yeah, okay, all right. That doesn't sound bad.
And my point is, he was good in a television show, so I'm willing to give it. Let me walk that back. I'm willing to give it reviews, and then I will maybe give it a shot. That's how I found Abbott. People loved Abbott. I gave it a shot. I now love Abbott.
I don't even know if Abbott's a Two Americas show. I just think it's everybody's show. It's a great show.
It's 100% everyone's show. I think you're the only person that doesn't like Abbott.
I just don't like that style of comedy. I don't really like The Office. I don't really like. It's not funny to me. I understand why people like it. It just didn't really.
The look into the camera.
Yeah, it didn't really do it for me.
Yeah,
there's some of those shows like Scrubs. It just wasn't. It wasn't my cup of tea. It wasn't my kind of humor. Coming up on the show. Someone online yesterday hurt my feelings, and they said that all we talk about is Darren Peterson. And I was just like, I don't know how many hypothetical trade ideas you want me to come up with. And in the process of it, I came up with the hypothetical trade idea for the Chiefs. So we'll talk about it. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
I mean, come on, guys. What are we doing here?
On your home for Chiefs football, 96.5, The Fan.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon.
Hello?
You won't believe where I am.
Are you running?
Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing. Mom, how do you feel?
I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture, and then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
At Casey's, when someone asked for a cup of coffee that wouldn't put them in debt, but still had freshly ground beans, rich flavor, and a price that starts with a 9 and ends with a D9 cents, we were too nice to say no. Now get a small coffee, just 99 cents. Limited time only. See store for details.
Have you ever wanted to go to the NBA Finals? Well, now's your chance, courtesy of our friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app. All you need to do is use your profit boost on an NBA future, and you'll be entered for a shot to win an NBA Finals trip for 2. NBA Futures, lock in your pick on who you think is going to go all the way, whether it's a team to win the championship or win the Western or Eastern Conference. Maybe you think that San Antonio is going to upset OKC out west. Maybe you got any idea who's going to come out of the Eastern Conference. Maybe you like Boston with the possible return of Jason Tatum. Whatever your bet is for the future, visit FanDuel.com/local to get started. Remember, play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 of President, Missouri. No purchase necessary. Limit 1 entry. 4 Profit Boost token. Opt-in required. Must apply Profit Boost token on select market. Restrictions apply. See full terms, including methods of entry at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
At Kansas City Proton Institute, we're delivering the future of cancer care with state-of-the-art proton therapy right here in KC. If you have breast, head and neck, or brain cancer, proton therapy may be a better treatment than conventional radiation. Don't wait. Get your second opinion at Kansas City Proton Institute. Come see Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced proton therapy team. Learn more at kcpi.com. Kansas City Proton Institute, where you see the best in KC. Advent Health welcomes the KC Golf Show, February 27th through March 1st at the Overland Park Convention Center. Get front door bonuses like 5 Great Life golf rounds, Golf to Mules National, free balls, sim time with Barry's Golf and Groove and Birdie's Indoor Golf, and get an Advent Health Championship ticket, all while they last. Saturday the 28th is Women's Day, presented by Elevated Home Team and Keller Williams Realty Partners. Test drive Callaway, Mizuno, Cleveland, and more with Golf MD. See the new RMI carts. Play the Edwards-Jones Straight Drive, Genesis of Kansas City Long Putt, and the Midwest Golf Innovation Simulator. Get lessons with Imperial Golf. Roll it with Extreme Green and Evolved putters. Relax in Yingling Flight's 19th hole. Savor samples from Tito's Vodka and Booth Creek Wagyu. All at the Golf Show, February 27th through March 1st at the OP Convention Center. Thanks to Lake of the Ozarks Golf Trail. Visit Mississippi, Old Kinderhook, and Mulligan's Country Club. Kids under 12 are free. Tickets at KansasCityGolfShow.com.
Too many tools, too much stress, and way too many bills.
Odoo replaces it all. One connected platform for every part of your business, so you can work faster, smarter, and for less. Odoo, the only software you'll ever need. Try it free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
A KFC tale in the pursuit of flavor. The greatest insult the Colonel ever suffered was being served a wrap that was just a snack by a friend. So he took 2 crispy tenders, lettuce, tomatoes, and pepper mayo, and wrapped them in a soft tortilla. It wasn't a snack, it was a meal. He called it a twister, and never called that friend again. The Colonel lived, so we could chicken. The Twister, now back at KFC, classic or with bacon. Also try it spicy. It's finger-licking good.
Prices and participation may vary.
Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric. Visit AnthonyPHC.com today.
Keep your home warm and your furnace running strong with expert HVAC care from Anthony. Celebrate our 75th anniversary. Get $75 off a furnace tune-up. Book now at AnthonyPHCE.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
We've got a crash now, 35 northbound just past West Benway. Left lane is blocked. Another crash, 35 southbound in front. Left lane blocked there. 2-car crash on the curve in Lee Summit, 470 northbound past Woods Chapel. It is the right lane that is blocked there. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Chris Jones from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, Rob. So let me tell you. This is what happened. Yesterday, I think Rob does this on purpose. Rob will take a 2.5-minute clip of something that's said on the show, and then he'll post it online. And then he will tag me in the post. I don't have any control over what he posts. It doesn't really matter to me. I mean, I said it on the show. I can't be like, oh, I didn't say it. Whatever I say on the show, obviously you can put online. Like I wouldn't have said it if I didn't feel that strongly about it. So then every day people just start arguing in the comments about it. And I have to read it. It's whatever. I don't care. So yesterday, someone said, that's all we talk about is Darren Peterson. We are obsessed with Darren Peterson. So then I replied to this individual and I said, how many hypothetical Chiefs trades do you want? We only talk about Darren Peterson because it's the number one story with the number one team currently playing. We wouldn't be talking this much Darren Peterson if it was November. We'd be talking about the football team. But it's February. Chiefs not doing nothing. Royals didn't really make a big move this offseason. K-State doesn't have a basketball coach. Missouri is average. I mean, what else are you supposed to do? But you know what? It's my job to come up with these things. That's what I get paid to do. I get paid to come up with interesting topics and ideas. So if you guys want more hypothetical Chiefs trades, then that's what I got to do. Rob, this is one I came up with. Are you ready? The Chiefs would trade the 40th overall pick and the 109th pick to the Miami Dolphins for Devon Achane and the 149th pick. So they would trade Devon Achane. They'd give up their second round pick. They also would swap from basically the top of the fourth round to the bottom of the fourth round. Is that a trade you would make? Because it would solve a lot of problems. That's a contract that you would give in free agency. It would check off a massive box for Kansas City with one of the more productive running backs in the National Football League. It would also give you a legitimate weapon. He'd be the best skill position player that the Chiefs have. It also frees up the 9th overall pick that you can do basically whatever you want to do that's not Jeremiah Love. Now, I ask you this question is because I know how you feel about running back, but you also acknowledge that they need a running back. And just yesterday, I heard Brett Veach talk about how much they needed explosiveness in the run game. Tell me a running back that could be more explosive than making a trade for Devon Achane.
Certainly we want to get more explosive in the running game. We've invested in that interior, and Trey Smith and Creed Humphrey, two of the best in the league, and we thought Kingsley made a big step. Those are three talented interior players. So I think, and we've talked about it, and Coach has done an amazing job with his staff cranking on that scheme eval, but I think being more explosive in the running game and really taking advantage of those interior three to kind of impose your will on an opposing team's defense. But the running game takes a lot of pressure off everybody. So I think if we can be more explosive and more effective in the running game, I think obviously we take a lot of pressure off Pat, especially coming back early in the season with the injury.
So this is my trade. Devon Achane, you would trade the 40th pick and the 109th pick to the Dolphins. You would get Devon Achane and the 149th pick in return, which to me feels like a very fair trade, I would say, on both sides. I think that's very fair value for Devon Achane. Is that a trade you would make?
Hard and fast pass. Nope. No. 2 reasons. One,
I'm surprised the text line is also right now on no. I think that's a pretty fair trade on both sides. Because the only reason I say this is you cannot tell me, I know you're not saying this, you cannot tell me you are willing to use the 9th overall pick for a running back and now trading the 40th overall pick for a running back is a step too far. So we cannot be having a positional value argument, not in my mind, not talking about this. And even if we're going from a contract perspective, I don't think Achane's really breaking the bank for what it is.
He's in the final year of his rookie deal. He's going to get a contract.
I don't mind that, but
if he get, now we don't know the number yet. Let's see what Kenneth Walker gets. Now he's not going to get all the way to K9's deal.
I think
K9's going to set the market, and Achane's going to be swimming right in his wake. That's why I'm a no. I'm giving up the 40th overall pick, which, by the way, I can draft. Was it Jordan Price out of Notre Dame with 40 and get 4 years of club control out of him, or I can trade that pick away and now have to contract out Devon Achane. I wouldn't do it. I would, but I'm also team cheap it up at running back. But I would say no on this hypothetical
deal. I don't
deal.
know if you can be on team cheap at running back and also be on board with them signing Travis Etienne. Like, they are going to spend money this offseason at running back. Now, maybe they're not going to spend Devon Achane money at running back, but I mean, if they're drafting Jeremiah Love, you spent money at running back. Just his rookie contract is $30 million guaranteed. You spent money at running back if you did that. If you wanted Breece Hall Breece Hall was going to cost money. If you want Kenneth Walker, he was going to cost money. I would say just based on what we saw Javonte Williams get, I think there's a chance Rico Dowdle costs a little bit of money this year. I don't know if there's going to be that running back this season that you're able to get, a productive back, a back that you think really moves the needle. I don't know if there's that back that's going to exist that you're going to get for the 1 year, $3 million, and it's up to $5 million with incentives. I don't really know if that's the deal. But if I'm a team, and not just even if I'm Kansas City, I wouldn't have a problem trading for Devon Achane and giving him the James Cook contract. I think Devon Achane is one of the best running backs in the National Football League and is a true difference maker, home run hitter, explosive kind of player. He's 24 years old. He had 240 carries for 1,400 yards and 8 touchdowns this past season. He's been a big play home run hitter his entire career in Miami. If there is a guy that I'd be willing to swing big and just this guy is an impact guy, and then we talk about spending money at running back. I mean, signing Devon Achane isn't much different than, to me, spending money on who you think wide receiver 3 is going to be. And I think Devon Achane would have a much bigger impact than whoever you think wide receiver 3 is potentially going to be for this team. This isn't a bad trade for me. I would make this trade. Now, I don't think Miami is trading him. I think he's going to end up signing a long-term deal, and I think they'll either draft a quarterback and then they'll pair him with Achane. But, yeah, if you're telling me right now that this was a real trade proposed by the Dolphins, I would take this trade.
I would still be a no. I understand what you're saying. Now, I do think it's worth noting, I do think there's going to be that guy that you can get productivity at running back for cheap because every year that guy exists. I mean, that's not unique. I also think there's going to be a 4th-round pick or later that's going to be a productive running back in the NFL because that happens all the time at that position. I think because of his impending contract, I'd rather take the risk on, we don't have to use Jordan Price, Emmett Johnson. Pick a running back at 40. I'd rather take the chance on him on 4 years of club control rookie deal that you get Achane production as opposed to trading that pick for Achane himself. Because the other part of this is, you know how I value second-round picks and high draft picks. The Chiefs have more than one need, and using pick 9 on D-end for the analogy, and then
pick
trading
40 for
running back,
a potential superstar running back.
They've fixed 2 things, and now they're still staring on the barrel of 5, 6 needs, and they can't do it in the draft anymore, is not the best team building, in my opinion.
Okay. I mean, I would say that you still have the ability to do it. You spent your 40th pick on Devon Achane, and you got a draft pick in return. Now, you got a significantly worse draft pick than the one that you had.
A late fourth's not a productive. The history of late 4th rounds, not, oh, man, they're going to get Steve Young or something incredible.
You had 109, and you turned it into 149.
Exactly.
But you got Devon Achane. And, I honestly would be in favor of the deal. Text line, I'm interested in you guys.
Someone text line makes a good point. They wouldn't give up a 3rd for Breece Hall. They didn't give up a 2nd for Devon Achane.
I think Achane's a better player than Breece Hall is.
I think
that's just me, though. I think Achane's a better player than Breece Hall.
I think they're pretty similar. I'd have to see Achane's age. I know we're up against the break.
14 or 24.
So the youth is a big deal there.
And healthy these last couple of years, home run hitter. You know what his average yard per carry is in his career?
It's like 4 or 5, right?
5.6. 5.6 on 550 carries in his NFL career. For you guys telling me 3.6 last year with Kareem Hunt, going from Kareem Hunt to Devon Achane is like adding Barry Sanders to the offense. You give him that kind of weapon, that kind of home run ability, that kind of explosiveness in the offense. Yeah, I would trade a 2nd-round pick for Devon Achane. That's me, though. Coming up on the other side, there's about 8 quarterback openings in the National Football League. We'll talk about them. Keep right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on Kansas City's only FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon.
Hello?
You won't believe where I am.
Are you running?
Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing. Mom, how do you feel?
I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture, and then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
When it was time to paint the inside of our home, we made one call, and that was the CertaPro painters, and the experience was amazing. They took all the stress about the job away from me, and they'll do the same for you. And now's the time to get that painting project completed that you've been putting off. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated right here in Kansas City. So schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro painters.
Low testosterone can be a real problem for many men. It causes poor sleep patterns, decreased energy, low sex drive, and it makes it really hard to stay in shape. And as we all know, a healthy body is very important to our overall health and well-being. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if some or all of these symptoms sound like you, we can likely help you be done with low T. We can also help you lose weight, support your metabolism, improve your gains in the gym, and more with our new targeted body composition plans featuring GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more. Our low T protocols, applied in conjunction with our body composition plans, will help most men see real improvements, true weight loss, higher energy, improved sleep, stronger workouts, and a renewed sex drive as well. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the same day, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
When shopping for a new auto insurance policy, AAA could help you customize your coverage to fit your unique needs and budget. Trust AAA Auto Insurance to help you find the balance that works for you. See how a simple switch could make a big difference. AAA, we're always with you. Visit AAA.com/insurance. Insurance provided to qualified AAA members by Automobile Club Inter-Insurance Exchange and AAA affiliate insurers. Membership requires a separate payment.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being a million miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit Tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
This update is brought to you by Ollie's Bargain Outlet.
Ollie's deals are so good, you won't believe the prices.
This has to be a joke.
It's no joke. Ollie's Bargain Outlet sells famous brand name merchandise at up to 70% off the fancy store prices. Hurry in.
Ollie! Good stuff, cheap!
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
We got a crash now, 35 northbound just past West Penway. Left lane is blocked. Another crash, 35 southbound at front. Left lane blocked there. 2-car crash on the curve in Lee Summit, 470 northbound past Woods Chapel. It is the right lane that is blocked there. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
I went through a hypothetical trade, and I asked Rob if he would take it. Rob hates running backs, so of course I could have asked if the Chiefs would offer up a 7th-round pick for 1996 Barry Sanders. Rob would have found an issue with the trade. I thought it was a pretty good one. Devon Achane and pick 149. The Chiefs would have to give Miami pick 40 and pick 109. I would make this deal, and I would give Devon Achane a second contract. Rob is not interested in that and wants the Chiefs to do something different at running back. We now have a poll up. Let me know if you would make this trade. 913-586-7965. Rob, this has nothing to do with what we've been talking about, but sometimes I get distracted. I think the answer for the most famous movie house is pretty simple. I think it's Home Alone. I think the most famous, most popular movie house is Home Alone. What do you think the answer is for television? I asked that question because the house from Breaking Bad, Skylar and Walt's house, it just sold for $1.3 million. What do you think the answer is for television house?
And it's going to be a house, not like apartment, right?
No, a house. Yeah.
Fresh Prince house?
Yeah, I don't know.
That might be just
I was
our
really just
era.
trying to think of the answer to the question. I don't really know what it is. Do you agree with that it's Home Alone for a movie?
Off the top of my head, I can't think of a bigger
I'm just
one
trying.
for a movie.
The main scene in the movie just takes place in the house.
The whole movie, every part of the movie takes place in the house. But yeah, that's probably number one. I think TV-wise, I think the list, if I'm just going through to my head, is probably, and I don't like
Texon is saying Full House.
Friends Apartment, I think, has to be on the list. And I don't like Friends, but the Friends Apartment has to be on the list. Full House, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I think those are right off the jump. Seinfeld's Apartment, I think, is also on the list. But I think that's the grouping. Because, Breaking Bad's unique. Not a lot of, dramas are built around a house the way Breaking Bad was.
And their house just wasn't very special. It was just a regular house.
It had a pizza on the roof.
It did have a pizza on the roof. They put a gate around it because people were going up there throwing pizza on the roof. That should be a crime. I'm all for enjoying pop culture and all that kind of stuff. And remember how there was the people that brought the brownstone from Sex and the City, and then they got mad that people would try to take a picture on it. You bought this house. What did you think people were gonna do? This doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But yeah, come on now. You're just gonna buy a pizza and throw it up there for Instagram? Then they gotta clean it up. Come on. You've done way too much here. You shouldn't be allowed to do that.
And I would tell you, now listen,
a lot of folks are saying the Brady Bunch house.
That's just a different age thing. I'm not saying they're wrong.
Where's the Brady Bunch house at?
My guess is L.A.
You can go see it for yourself?
That's my guess. Griswold Christmas House for movie is a good answer.
Okay. I was wondering. So if you were wondering, they just sold the Breaking Bad house, $1.3 million. It just went for it's in New Mexico, right? Albuquerque?
Yeah, I don't know if it's maybe Albuquerque proper or whatever, but yeah.
Yeah, shout out to
you got to buying that knowing people are going to huck pizza on your roof is crazy.
Yeah, for sure. You just got to charge people to go into it.
Yeah, but you got to charge them to get it down?
No, I'm just saying if I don't know why the movie the TV studios, why they don't just buy the house and just make it a
landmark?
Money. Yeah, just we own this home. We're going to have the Breaking Bad experience in here. You're a big fan of the show. We have all of these things from the show. Here's the gas mask from the first episode. And here's all these things. Charge people $20 to walk through the house. You'll clearly make the money back off of the house.
Make it like Graceland for Elvis. That's the same concept.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why.
That's a real person, but you get the point.
Yeah, no, I absolutely get it. So, coming up at the top of the hour, we'll reset things. So I was on ESPN.com, and they were going through quarterback predictions for all 32 teams. Now, for a majority of these teams, you already know who their quarterback is going to be. We're not questioning who Dallas' starting quarterback is going to be, so I didn't really spend a whole lot of time reading those. But it was interesting to go through the ones that are in question. So for Cleveland, they have Kyler Murray as a projected starter. For Miami, Malik Willis. That seems like the most obvious move of any move this offseason. That Malik Willis is going to be the starting quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. They have Kirk Cousins going back to Minnesota this offseason.
That makes a lot of sense.
I don't hate that move, actually, for Minnesota. I don't hate that move.
Because if he's bad, you still have J.J. McCarthy. If he's good, he surpasses McCarthy. That's not a bad move.
For the Jets, they have Spencer Rattler. For all the conversation we have about the NBA and tanking, if you're starting Spencer Rattler as your starting quarterback, you're tanking. You're tanking. You're not trying to win. You cannot tell me you're trying to win if you're the Jets, especially when you got 2 first-round picks. Oh, you're tanking for 2026. You want Arch real bad.
The Jets are tanking as bad as the Jazz. We just don't talk about it because of the NFL. They traded players for a bevy of first-round picks. They're going to start Spencer Rattler. They have no interest in drafting a quarterback at 2 this year, and Aaron Glenn's going to keep his job. That's tanking. It's tanking, textbook tanking.
Arizona might be tanking, too. They have their projected starter as Jacoby Brissett. If you're starting Jacoby Brissett week 1, you're trying to get the number 1 overall pick. That is in your future. You're a bad football team if that's the case. Now, this is where it gets interesting. This is the biggest reason why I wanted to read this to you. Do you know who they have projected as the Chiefs starter for week 1? Marcus Mariota. That's what they have. I'll read you a little bit of it. Of course, this hinges on the recovery time for Patrick Mahomes. He's indicated that he wants to be back for week 1, but at this point, it is just a guess. So I imagine the Chiefs are going to be cautious with Mahomes given his importance to the franchise. And then he goes on all the positives of having Marcus Mariota. Great minds. This is who I said I want the Chiefs backup to be this offseason. I am very much interested in a Marcus Mariota being their starting quarterback for the early portion of the season. I don't know if I'll end up being right or wrong, but I am not anticipating that Patrick Mahomes is going to be their week 1 starter. I think he could be their week 4 starter, their week 5 starter, but I'm not sure if Patrick Mahomes is going to be there for week 1. I think getting a guy like Marcus Mariota that has the skill set to run their system, is an established quarterback in the National Football League, one of the better backup quarterbacks that you could have in the National Football League. I don't think that's a bad option for Kansas City in the short term. I think you are hopeful if you have a backup, whoever that is, Gardner Minshew, Chad Henne, whoever. I think you are going into it with the expectation of, let's say Mahomes is out for the first 4 games of the season, the first 4 weeks of the season. Do we think we can be 2-2 at the end of that stretch? I think Marcus Mariota, the answer is clearly yes. I think you can be 2-2 at the end of that stretch, getting back your starting quarterback and then ready to move on. I don't hate the possibility that Marcus Mariota could be starting for them week 1 of the NFL season while they give Mahomes more time to rest and recover and be ready for the second half of the season.
I don't hate the Marcus Mariota name. Now, I think I would prefer Kirk Cousins, but I also think Kirk Cousins is going to be looking for a starting job on the market. That's why that Minnesota thing makes sense to me. But a player in that ilk who absolutely knows he's a backup quarterback and you are not coming here to threaten for the job, but also with Andy Reid and the scheme they have in Kansas City, you can, for an NCAA tournament team, survive in advance for 4 to 5 weeks, and then Patrick Mahomes comes back. We have to see the schedule, so maybe you can't survive in advance, but I don't think Marcus Mariota would be the worst option. My top pick would be Kirk Cousins. I just don't think that's viable because I think he wants to be a starter somewhere in the league.
Yeah, I'm with you on Kirk Cousins. I just think
Brissett's also on my list, but I think
Kirk
he's
Cousins, he just can't move. You just can't move. I still think that Mariota gives you a little bit of flexibility. You can do some things with him in the offense, and I think it's just a very, very easy transition. Again, I have absolutely no clue if Patrick Mahomes is going to start or not start. I would have told you that Jason Tatum wasn't going to play in 2026. He's running 5-on-5 full contact basketball drills. I think that Jason Tatum's going to play in the postseason this year. So guys just recover in such crazy ways. So it's certainly possible. But I think if you're Kansas City, you have to be prepared for the possibility that Patrick Mahomes is not ready. Because to me, if you think he's going to participate in week 1, he needs to be starting day 1 at training camp then, if that's the case. I just don't know if I can lock in late July that Patrick Mahomes is going to be ready to play football. Not in that capacity. Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll reset things. We'll get to the top stories of the day in Kansas City, Missouri. Looks like they're going to make the NCAA tournament. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5, The Fan.
This one brought to you by DM Injury Law. We've got crashes. Boyd, 35 northbound just past West Penway. Left lane is blocked. The crash still working, 470 southbound at 40 Highway. Left lane blocked there. Also Independence, that crash still there, 435 southbound just before 24 Highway. Scoot to the left. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Furnished by IntelliBrands.
Have you ever felt leg pain, restlessness, cramps, tingling, swelling, numbness, itchiness, or coldness? Then you need the new patented Legsercise Pro, the natural circulation booster that uses continuous automatic leg movement to soothe pain and promote healthy circulation, the natural drug-free way.
Using Legsercise made walking painless again.
Legsercise Pro's patented walking simulator propulsion technology moves your feet back and forth along its concave track, creating constant movement and flexibility flex at both the knee and ankle joints. It's like having a physical therapist right in your own home.
I have much less swelling and no more tingling.
Call right now and order your very own Legsercise Pro, the new proven automatic leg mover that soothes pain and naturally promotes healthy circulation. Call 800-555-1212. That's 800-555-1212. 800-555-1212 now.
These statements and products have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
Clogged drains? Call your service tech from AB May to keep your plumbing systems running properly. From drain clearings to sewer line repairs, we deliver reliable solutions with unmatched care and professionalism. Right now, we're offering a $59 drain clearing special. Trusted by generations of Kansas City homeowners, AB May is committed to doing things the right way every time. Call 913-732-9993 or visit abmay.com.
Call your serviceman from AB May.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being a million miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
Xfinity Tech Support, Matthew speaking.
Hi, I live in a pretty remote place, like Jurassic Park remote. No!
Wow.
Will Xfinity Mobile work out here?
Yep, the combination of reliable Wi-Fi and 5G makes it so that you can stay connected in all kinds of places. Plus, you get access to ultra-fast speeds and coverage, whether you're poolside or out live streaming with a T-Rex.
Hold still, you're about to go viral.
Welcome to a new era of Wi-Fi boosted mobile. Cut your mobile bill in half with 2 lines of unlimited. Discover a new era of Wi-Fi boosted mobile at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Watch Jurassic Park with Xfinity. Savings comparison based on promotional rate for 2 lines of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited versus 2 lines of T-Mobile Experience More, Verizon Unlimited Plus, and AT&T Starter as of February 10th, 2026.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-284-1238. 800-284-1238. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-284-1238.
Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric. Visit AnthonyPHC.com today.
For 75 years, Kansas City families have trusted Anthony for comfort, safety, and dependable service. Thank you for trusting us with your house keys. Anthony, in your home for 75 years.
Hey, Royals fans, it's Vern, and the Hot Stove Show is back Thursday night starting at 6 o'clock right here on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Let's head to the phone lines right now to be joined by our next guest. Congratulations on getting through your 9 to 5. Mitch Holthus, voice of the Kansas City Chiefs, is on the show for your 5 o'clock hour drive home. Mitch, how are you doing today?
Good. The man they call Snapchat, or Snap Count, I should say. No, from Indianapolis. Good talking to you again. It's been a while.
It absolutely has been a while. How different was your January this year? Because I always tell people that January and September are my two busiest months of the year. It is the playoff push, and then it's the start of football season. You got baseball winding down. You got college football. You got the NFL. It's just really busy. There aren't too many people who are busier than you've been in January for the last 5 years. What was it like just having a lot more free time than you usually have?
Well, it was peculiar. One, that even if we weren't making deep runs into the playoffs, for 40 years I did college basketball. January, when the Chiefs season was over, and even prior to that, it was jam-packed with 20 to plus basketball games in 20 or 18 different cities. So it was always super busy. But it was kind of weird this year. Now, some personal matters we're dealing with. Got some aging parents. The time has been filled in, and so we've had some family matters to deal with, and that's kind of filled in the gap. But as Matt McMullen reminded me, if we were making a run to the Super Bowl, I wouldn't have been available for family. So, just a different feel to it, in that it wasn't necessarily as busy from a professional standpoint, but personal it was.
So let's talk about the biggest move this offseason with the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm sure you spent a lot of time with Eric Bieniemy, professionally, personally, just getting to know the man, getting to know his character. What does this mean for the Chiefs organization to have him back into the fold?
I've always said EB was the drill instructor at the bottom of the plane when you got off at Marine Corps Basic in San Diego. He is a Marine drill instructor, and I say that as a compliment. EB's got a way of just influencing lives in a positive way, and leaves a certain aura that translates to football very well. I mean, I've seen him a couple times since I've been here in Indianapolis. We've talked personally since he's been back into the fold. But it'll be good to have him back in the building. And I think Coach Reed alluded to that. I think some others have alluded to that. Brett Veach, even during his presser here. EB brings a certain just a certain way he does business that will be welcome in 2026 to get the Chiefs back on track.
What would you say EB's best skill is? What do you think his most important asset is adding to a team?
Well, I would say they're kind of combined in the answer, in his attention to detail, to do things in an exact way, the physical, mental, and emotional toughness that he wants to instill in every player on the team, whether it's an offense or defense, not just where he has influence on the offensive side of the ball, but then it's also kind of the way you do business. It fits right in with what has been generally over the previous 13 years of Andy Reid, one of the recipes for success. Of the successful teams I've been around, either in pro or college, they have a coach or coaches who live by that mantra. Meaning 7 o'clock in the morning is 6:45, you walk into the meeting room, or you're there shortly before 7 o'clock. If you're going to work on these three certain things during camp or practice or OTAs, you drill that into the person. Again, I go back to my military analogy of somewhat basic training. I think now it's become probably more important than, and it seems like it's an old school renaissance, but hear me out on this, and we'll get into the combine a little bit. But so many guys now play at so many different places. They're in so many different environments in high school and college. They might play at 3 different high schools and 4 different colleges. That's not exaggeration. There's some guys at this combine that are that way. Well, when you do that, do you ever get into a flow of what is consistent as far as discipline in the approach and the way you do things on a concise basis and a mental, tough basis, which is required in football. You cannot play football at any level and not have a great measure of physical, mental, and emotional toughness. And that's what EB brings. And to have him back in the building, I think, will be profound.
Right now, we're talking to Mitch Holthus, voice of the Kansas City Chiefs. He is in Indianapolis right now as the combine is getting going. Mitch, a coach that the text line is really excited about, and I imagine you've had some conversations but haven't had the opportunity to work with him, and you will as the season progresses. The text line is really excited about Chad O'Shea, a very experienced wide receiver coach, to pair him with Rashee Rice, to pair him with Xavier Worthy. What have you heard about him? What have you heard about what he could bring adding to this coaching staff?
I worked with him prior. When he was here in 2003, 4, 5, the last years of Coach Vermeil's tenure in Kansas City, he helped with special teams. He was kind of what Porter Ellett does now with Dave Tobe. And so I got to know Chad then. And then to follow him for a 2-decade period to see what he had done in New England in the wide receiver room, and then to see what he'd done as a offensive coordinator, at least to have that experience. I'm going to point you to, and I would say this is required listening or viewing, and it's our podcast. Matt McMullen and I sat down with Chad. I put it on Twitter, actually. I put down prior to the combine, if you're looking at wide receivers in this draft class or free agency, I put down kind of the list of requirements that is accentuated by the way Chad O'Shea does business. It's a little bit of the Eric Bieniemy discussion, but that Defending the Kingdom podcast, which is up, it's been up for over a week, is worth a listen. It's the best thing I can do to give you a detailed response to your answer. And you will, I think that a lot of people have seen that podcast, and I think that's the reason they're excited, because they see an element to the wide receiver room that can try to maximize the ability of the people in that room or the new people coming into that room, whether they're draftees or free agents. The other thing I tell you is tonight we're going to be on live at 7 o'clock from here in Indianapolis on the Chiefs YouTube channel, and basically a 1-hour special. We don't get into Chad as much, but we get into a lot of the virtues that I mentioned about Bieniemy and O'Shea that go into the draft, into the free agency, and discussions. If you're looking at any player in free agency or the draft, you got to look at them through the lens of Coach Reed / Brett Veach, but also through the subculture lens of Eric Bieniemy and Chad O'Shea. Chad O'Shea will basically mirror Eric Bieniemy and his approach to offensive football with the Chiefs. But that podcast with O'Shea is really good because it dives into what the dude is about and what he has learned over the past 20 years when he was first with the Chiefs.
Right now, we're talking to Mitch Holthus, voice of the Kansas City Chiefs. Mitch, I'm sure you have these conversations with Brett Veach, and I'm not asking you to give up any trade secrets or anything, but you know this team. You follow the rest of the league. You're very knowledgeable about what's going on. If Veach asked you what was the biggest need that you see for the Chiefs heading into the offseason, what would your answer be?
Honestly, I'm going to surprise you with it. I think it is getting more athletic and impactful on defense at all three levels. I can take you to a point, I can take you through, I alluded to this to you, I think, once the regular season ended. But I went back and reviewed tape that there were 16 times where there were, at critical times of the game, of the 11 losses, where half of those losses could have been swung on those plays. And I mean 1 or 2 plays. And it's not just, every NFL game is decided by 1 or 2 plays. These are 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10. And everybody then wants to point to some kind of magic formula of, you got to get pressure with 4. Yes, you do. Or you've got to cover the medium areas of the defense from 8 to 12 yards. Yes, you do. You have to be able to break on the ball and be aggressive and have enough athletic defensive backs to be able to make plays, even if you don't get just a perfect rush on. Yes, you do. And the way the NFL changed, if people can watch tonight's live stream, again, the Chiefs YouTube channel at 7 o'clock, we also put up another Defending the Kingdom podcast where we go into some of the combine even further. But how football changed this year, it changed a lot. And we got Charles Davis on the show tonight. We've got Matt Miller. He's more draft-centric. But we've also got Mark Ross. How the game of football changed this year, meaning teams were not looking to score quickly. They were looking to control the game. I'm going to control the game, and then I'll score. And that's what happened to the Chiefs. So the countermeasure, the first countermeasure, I think, is getting just, one, the swag back, but two, more athletic and impactful for a defense that looks more like Seattle's. And I think that will be something that will be discussed in the draft and also in free agency.
I'm 100% with you. I don't know how the draft is going to fall. I know that everybody is looking at these mock drafts and they're worried that this guy's not going to be there or that guy's not going to be there. We just got to go through the process. Looking at a mock draft before we get done with the combine just seems like a fruitless exercise to me. That's kind of where I am. To me, this team, they just need more dogs. Like you said it, they need more athletic, more explosive. You and I agree. They just need dogs on that defensive line that now you got an opportunity at 9. You just got a chance to get a defensive prospect that guy's not available to you with where they normally select. You can get a good wide receiver with where they normally pick. You can get a good running back. You can get some of those other things. You don't get the kind of defensive line prospect at 9 that is available to them. So I want them to go all in on finding their next great pass rusher and a guy that can get 10, 12 sacks over this rookie contract.
I would agree with you partially, but I'm not going to leave out the other two levels of the defense, because you can also get a super impactful player at the second and third level. And everybody talks about edge rusher and trying to get pressure on the quarterback. Pressure on the quarterback now has turned into, because the ball's coming out so fast. This goes back to my point. I'm going to have a 10-play drive, eat up 8 minutes, and score either a field goal, touchdown at the end of the drive. But on that drive, I'm going to run I can run 5 wide. Oh, it looks like it's wide open. And I'm running all these hook routes because the ball's coming out fast. People aren't having 5- and 7-step drops because they're not falling victim to the Nick Bonitos of the world or, the great pass rushers, the Myles Garretts. They're getting the ball out fast. But there needs to be athleticism up front to disrupt the play, to throw it off timing, or to get deflections, or to get the quarterback off their spot. And so, to your point, I agree with you, but I'm also going to throw in linebacker or DBs. Now, I'm not sure these two guys will be there at 9, but when you look at Arvell Reese of Ohio State, here's one of the things we get, and we're going to go into this tonight on the show at 7 o'clock. You pigeonhole a guy by putting in a letter by him. Arvell Reese has an LB by him. Well, he's as much as an edge guy to me in this draft as David Bailey of Tech or Reuben Bain Jr. of Miami of Florida. When you watch his video, he's dynamic and can do different things, whether he's coming from the middle or coming off the edge. And the numbers are there. Now, he only had 6.5 sacks, but 10 tackles for losses. But don't think of him as a linebacker, but think of him as a slash guy. The other guy's Caleb Downs. Now, they put an S by him, and you're thinking, oh, safety. I'm telling you, when you watch his video, the player out of Ohio State, he is a menace as a slot blitzer. He can cover. He looks like a corner skill sometimes in the vein of a Surtain or a Sauce Gardner. Now, he's not as cornerback as those guys, but he's closer to that than thinking of a single high safety. So that's my point. And then a guy I really like is Mansour Delane of LSU, who was at Virginia Tech, who could be there at 9 as well, where he is a perfect Spags corner. 6 foot 190, nasty, athletic, highly productive in his time at LSU and prior to that at Virginia Tech. Long arms, compress. I think there was only 5 targets against him last year at LSU and a 27 rating against him. I mean, when I watch his video, I fall in love with him too. I know we haven't talked much about offense, and that's where people like to go first, but I'm going to go to defense first because I think that's where you flip the 26th season by what we're talking about here. But I'm talking about skilled dog. If you're talking dogs, I'm with you all the way. Dogs, but dogs at all 3 levels. Because I think it fits in with what I've seen from Ashton Gelati, who I think could take a big step forward, and also Noah Williams. Noah Williams is a dog. And if you get more players that play like Noel Williams, at least in their attitude, you're gonna have a chance to win games you lost last year.
Right now, we're talking to Mitch Holthus, voice of the Chiefs, for a couple more minutes here on your drive home for the 5 o'clock hour. Let's switch over to the offensive side. It was music to my ears to hear Brett Veach say that they want to get more explosive on offense. I actually think that's going to be their big swing. They always take a big swing on day one of free agency, whether it's Jalen Moore, whether it's Tyrann Mathieu, whether it's Justin Reed. Like, they always do something big on the first day. I thought it was going to be Breece Hall, but I think he's going to end up going back to the Jets. I now think they're going to go get Travis Etienne. He just makes a lot of sense to me for Kansas City. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He's a guy that's run for 1,000 yards in 3 of the last 4 seasons. I think he's going to be their big day one move.
Well, one thing that would validate that is if you're around and look at the draft at all and around this combine discussion, then you look and you see there's only one running back really in this draft. Now, Jeremiah Love's a dynamic player. But after that, you're going to go deep into the second round before you get another running back chosen. And that'll show up tonight, or people listen tonight to the podcast when we have a guy like Matt Miller on. So why do I say that based on a response to your thought is that you can't take a chance that Jeremiah Love's going to be there at 9. And it's way too expensive with the equity that you have going into this draft to trade up. So to take out some of the mystery is you look at the free agent running back market. You can't overpay, but an ETN to me is perfect for an Andy Reid offense in the fact that he's such a good pass catcher and, again, explosive plays, but also can run inside the tackles. If you have a room then that includes Kareem Hunt and Brashard Smith and a Travis Etienne, you'll go to work with that. And so I'm not going to disagree with you. If we could get Travis Etienne at the right price, then I'm all about it. Algier, I mean, that's if you can't get Etienne, but a guy like Algier, somebody in the free agent market, because the draft right now is only producing Love as a kind of bona fide immediate day one impact guy.
I'll get you out of here with this. Now, I've been kind of back and forth about this because from a salary cap perspective, I understand why the Chiefs would move on from Jawaan Taylor. I mean, they saved $20 million if they move on from Jawaan Taylor. But I also think last year, having 3 guys that you thought could play tackle and just preparing yourself for anything, whether it was Simmons' absence, whether it's an injury, whether it's a guy that's not performing, like having 3 starting caliber tackles was just such a benefit to the Chiefs. I could really see them keeping a hold of that and just where you got to renegotiate the contract with Jawaan Taylor. You can't have his cap hit be $23.8 million the way that it is. But I could see a scenario, especially given his age, given his health, given that he's been a productive player when you take away the penalties. If you think you can correct those penalties now with EB, now with more attention to detail, I'm starting to think there's a chance that Jawaan Taylor, that he's on the team in 2026.
Well, I'd keep that thought, but let me give you one of the things I try to do when I'm on with you during the regular season or during the off season is give some other thoughts here, go to another place. And let me tell you, so we all get kind of locked in on the Chiefs having the number 9. They also have the 40, and they got 3 in the top 75 picks. Now, the reason I say that as a precursor to my response to you is that this is a right tackle festival here at the Combine. If Josh Simmons, and you're going to hear on the podcast, the live cast, I should say, we're live tonight at 7, but you're going to hear, because we recorded Matt Miller earlier, if Josh Simmons was in this draft, he would be a top 5 or 7 pick, even with the injury issues, because there's no left tackles in this draft, maybe other than Caleb Lomu of Utah. You've got Spencer Fano, you have Francis Mauigoa, you've got Caden Proctor, you've got Monroe Freeling, you have Blake Miller, you have Max Awanachor from Arizona State, Caleb Tiernan of Northwestern. These are all right tackles. Why do I say that? Because you could get one of those guys in the top 75 picks. They become your 6th tackle. You've got Jalen Moore, because there's 2 things here to consider. One, you must have you got to have the 3 offensive tackles. And then you hope Esapole continues to leap forward in this offseason. The other thing where the Chiefs lacked last year, and really last couple of years, is getting somewhat of a replacement for a Nick Allegretti. When they go big, in the NFL, this has been such an adjustment of the league over the last several years. You see so many 6 offensive lineman sets now. I see it week after week after week when we play teams. The guy comes in, rubs his number, and they're in 6 O-linemen. And the Chiefs, if they get a 6th offensive tackle or a 6th offensive lineman, and you've got 3 tackles, as you're alluding to, and I'm saying you could possibly draft one in this draft that could morph in, if not right away, eventually into a starting right tackle position, or at the least a go big with 6 offensive tackles, and then Pole continues to grow forward. Now you got a pretty good group moving forward, not just into 26 and beyond, because you hopefully have Josh Simmons, who will be an emerging star. Suamatia has proven that he could be really good at left guard. You got the best center in the game in Creed Humphrey. You got a Pro Bowler in Trey Smith. And then you get a solid right tackle, and then a 6th guy who's sitting right there, who's really close to that right tackle, where they're the same kind of ability. And now you have a chance to do some things, even throwing the football when you go big on the offensive line. But that's kind of the way the league has morphed here in at least the last year and a half. So just don't discount the fact that you could draft the right tackle perhaps in the first 75 picks.
That is Mitch Holthus, voice of the Kansas City Chiefs, joining us on the show. Mitch, one more time, tell people how they can hear you coming up at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, it's going to be on the Chiefs YouTube channel. We'll be live. And I'm telling you, I'm going to sell this program. This is going to be a really good one. We're going to dive in to what we've experienced here the last couple of days, but get a real perspective on the league, not just in this draft, but free agency and what kind of what's bubbling around this league and how it's changed right before our eyes, and what the Chiefs need to do to jump back into the fray in 2026. That's all tonight at 7 o'clock. People will enjoy it. So just treat it as a primetime live shot from here in Indianapolis.
You know what, Mitch? Why don't we just go ahead and pencil you in? I don't know what your schedule is, but you feel like a March 13 guest for us. You know, a couple of days after training, or, a couple of days after the start of the league year, a couple of days after free agency gives you a time to digest it. I'm going to have my people call your people. Let's schedule you for like March 13th, March 14th.
If I can recover from the shrimp cocktail at St. Elmo, I'll do it. I love shrimp cocktail. My wife will tell you I love to make it homemade. It's easy to make. But I don't know what St. Elmo does. Is it kerosene? Is it hydrochloric acid? But it's something in there that makes it so good that it also becomes, you don't even have to buy Mucinex, man. It's right up in your nostrils. So if I recover from that, I'll be on with you on the 13th of March.
All right, that is our guy, Mitch Holthus, voice of the Kansas City Chiefs, joining us on the show today. Be sure to check out the Chiefs YouTube channel coming up later today at 7 o'clock. They are going to have a live stream from Indianapolis at the Combine. Coming up on the other side, we'll react to what Mitch had to say. We'll also talk about the Missouri Tigers, an impressive win against Tennessee. Also, shout out to Baker University. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Too many tools, too much stress, and way too many bills.
Odoo replaces it all. One connected platform for every part of your business, so you can work faster, smarter, and for less. Odoo, the only software you'll ever need. Try it free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
A KFC tale in the pursuit of flavor. The greatest insult the Colonel ever suffered was being served a wrap that was just a snack by a friend. So he took 2 crispy tenders, lettuce, tomatoes, and pepper mayo, and wrapped them in a soft tortilla. It wasn't a snack, it was a meal. He called it a twister, and never called that friend again. The Colonel lived, so we could chicken. The Twister, now back at KFC, classic or with bacon. Also try it spicy. It's finger-licking good.
Prices and participation may vary. So, you're ready to propose, huh?
Yeah, man. She's definitely the one.
What are we thinking about the ring? I got my wife's at Hellsberg. I couldn't recommend a better jeweler.
I could use some help with that.
Man, go to Hellsberg. I had no idea how many details you need to consider. Did you know you can get a natural or lab-grown diamond? I didn't. Figure out what she wants. Trust me, they'll make it happen.
Start your story with Hellsberg. Shop in store or at hellsberg.com.
Advent Health welcomes the KC Golf Show February 27th through March 1st at the Overland Park Convention Center. Test drive golf's big brands, shop 100 exhibits, and swing and putt for prizes. Front door rounds of golf and tickets at kansascitygolfshow.com.
Some flavors just take you to another place. Like the Filet-O-Fish, a crispy fish fillet made with wild-caught Alaskan pollock on melty American cheese topped with tartar sauce, all on a soft, steamed bun. It's crispy, flaky perfection. And right now, I can mix and match two favorites, like a Filet-O-Fish or 10-piece chicken McNuggets for just $6. This deal is the catch of the day. So get to McDonald's fast. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal. Single item at regular price.
Sex, intimacy, love. These three things are critical to a good relationship, and that's the problem with erectile dysfunction. It often destroys sexual enjoyment and intimacy. It stresses the love between partners, often to the breaking point. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're suffering with ED, you likely know exactly what I'm talking about. But I also want you to know that ED doesn't have to impact your relationship anymore. At Heartland Men's Health, we're ED experts, with our focus on men's sexual health. We've treated tens of thousands of men and have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. I promise you, if you're like most guys, you can get your sex life back, perhaps even performing like you haven't in years. So if ED is affecting you, it's time to get back to better sex, better intimacy, and deeper love. Call us. Just $99 gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
DQ presents The Spicy Menu. For a limited time, try the new Flamethrower Chicken Strip Basket for $6.99 with spicy, bold strips that heat you up. Served with a side of famous DQ soft serve as a dip to cool you down. That's right, dip those spicy chicken strips right into soft serve. Plus fries and toast, all for just $6.99. And add a new pineapple lemonade sparkler or cooler made with tahini. It's the limited time only Spicy Menu. Get it delivered in the DQ app. Happy, tastes good. Participation may vary.
Spreadsheets, clunky software, 100 different logins just to run your business? Ah.
There's a better way. Odoo. One simple, connected platform that handles sales, inventory, accounting, and more, so you can focus on growing, not juggling. Make the switch today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Hey guys, it's Rob Britton from The Drive on 96.5 The Fan. We're excited to launch Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series documenting the run-up to the World Cup with our friends at 98.1 KMBZ.
And I'm Scott Parks from Dana & Parks. This is about Kansas City, not about soccer. Telling the story of how our town ended up hosting the world's biggest sporting event.
New episodes drop every Wednesday starting on March 4th, plus video clips on 96.5 The Fan and KMBZ social channels.
Subscribe to Beyond the Pitch KC on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Tonight, expect light rain followed by partly cloudy skies with a low of 34.
Weather brought to you by Duke's Mayo. Welcome to Duke's Mayo Country, where the mayo is so smooth and creamy, it makes every bite better. Duke's Mayo. Look for the yellow lid.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
We got a two-car crash that is coming out of the Triangle. Center lane is going to be blocked. 71 northbound just past 75th and very heavy back into the Triangle. A stall causing a lot of backup. 70 eastbound at Nolan. Right lane is blocked. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Trent McDuffie from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C. Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, let's wrap up this Chiefs conversation, and then we'll talk about Mizzou. I 100% agree with Mitch Holthus. I don't know how you couldn't. I asked him, what do you think their biggest need is? They need to get more athletic, more explosive, more dynamic on their defense. 100%. 100%. And I would say in doing all of those things, they also just take the ball away more. Like, this isn't a defense that you just really trust to take the ball away. And by being a team that's more physical, can beat you up front, that just has more guys that just fly around and make plays, are just very important to this team. That's not what I would put as my number one. You guys know what I think the number one is. They just have to be more balanced. They have to run the football more effectively. You guys know my positioning on that. I also just think up front with their D-line, whether it's interior, whether it's pass rush on the outside, like they just need guys that can get to the quarterbacks. Like, the expectation is not for Spags to scheme it up. Sometimes you just got to have your guys be better than their guys, and that just wasn't the case too many times for their defense. But Rob, I do agree with Mitch that a very strong need for this team on defense is bigger, stronger, faster, more athletic, more explosive on all three levels, whether it's their D-line, whether it's their linebacker room, or just flying around making plays at safety. They just need more of that on their defense.
I don't know if I would call this a disconnect with fans, but I would say the average fan believes the Chiefs need to get better on offense because Patrick Mahomes had regressed. Eric Bieniemy's back, give him some weapons, bing, bang, boom. You're still going to be good because the Chiefs defense was still productive in 2025. But having heard from Mitch Holthus, we've heard this from Nate Taylor. I believe Joshua Briscoe has said something similar. I think people are starting to realize, hey, there's a need for this defense to get better. Because when you look at the teams that were in the Super Bowl last year and you look at the teams in the postseason, it wasn't just quarterback play that carried people. It was ball-hawking, playmaking defenses. That's why the Seahawks had a parade. That's why the Patriots went through the AFC the way they did. That's why the Broncos won the AFC West and got to host the AFC title game. It wasn't that Bo Nix and Drake May were just so much better than everyone else. It wasn't that Sam Darnold was just slinging the ball around and had 5,050. Not that there's anything wrong with your offense doing that, but when you look at the best teams in the NFL last year, it was the best defenses. And while the Chiefs defense is good, it's starting to get old. They got players who are starting to collect Social Security and AARP members on that defense. You need to be younger and have ball hawks who can make plays. And having one and a half pass rushers is not enough. Having one guy who's a great tackler at linebacker is not enough. Having people that, and I love Trent McDuffie, his biggest flaw is he doesn't take the ball away. Having guys that don't take the ball away in the secondary is a problem. They need to, and I agree with Mitch, at all three levels, find people that do that, and you combine that with Patrick Mahomes next year, you have something special cooking. But I'm starting to notice a theme from the people in the know. The defense needs to get better in 2026, and maybe better is the wrong term. They just need to be different and more athletic and younger in 2026.
We'll get back to the Chiefs here coming up in a bit. Rob, let's talk about Missouri from last night. Missouri got a very, very important win in the NCAA tournament picture. They are, in my opinion, firmly on the right side of the bubble. If you were looking at Joe Lunardi, how he has it right now, the top four seeds are Duke, UConn, Michigan, and Arizona. He also has Kansas as a 3 seed, if you were wondering. You go all the way down to the bottom, and the last 4 byes. So these are the teams that are in the tournament and avoid Dayton. That's probably the best way to put it. Texas A&M, Missouri, Texas, and Auburn. Very important to note that Missouri has a win over 2 of 3 of those teams. They beat A&M, they beat Auburn, they did lose to Texas earlier this season. You would have to think, based on the wins that Missouri has in SEC play, that is likely going to be enough to get them into the NCAA tournament. Now, I don't think they can lose out by any means, but if I'm looking at what they have done since SEC play, they have beaten Florida. They went on the road and beat Kentucky. They beat Auburn by double digits. They beat Oklahoma. They beat A&M, Vanderbilt, and Tennessee. I mean, if those are your last 3 SEC wins, A&M, Vanderbilt, and Tennessee, you've really racked up some good wins. If Missouri can finish out this regular season strong, I think they avoid Dayton. You have Mississippi State, who is under 500 and one of the worst teams in the SEC. You should win that game. On the road against Oklahoma, I think that's a little bit of a coin flip. I actually think Oklahoma outplayed them the last time they played each other. Missouri just hit 2 incredible threes in order to win that game. And you got Arkansas at home for the final game of the year. Should be a good crowd. It's the last game of the year. It's a Saturday. That should be a good crowd. If Missouri finishes this strong, I think you could see Missouri maybe get up to that 8-9 line. Now, you probably want to be on the 7-10 line than the 8-9 line. But I think there's a chance that Missouri is, I don't want to say safely in the, like if you're a 10 seed, you're not safely in the tournament. But right now the conversation is about avoiding Dayton, avoiding playing TCU or Indiana on the Tuesday and Wednesday of the NCAA tournament, going in as the 10 seed and giving yourself a real coin flip chance in the first round of the NCAA tournament.
So I don't want to say firmly because that's an aggressive term, but I think Missouri is in the tournament right now, period. I think now the committee may ding them seed line wise. Like, I wonder if they're ever capable of getting to that 8-9 line without making noise in Nashville because of how porous their non-con was. Maybe that's how they get dinged. But I think this is a team that's trending toward 10 seed. Now, you're right. That's not the world's greatest seed. Doesn't mean you're safe and you're getting ready for a party in Columbia. But their resume in SEC play is that of a tournament team. Like we had Brandon Cali on earlier, and everywhere you read has Auburn safely in. Since the turn of the calendar and the start of SEC basketball season, Missouri has been better than Auburn. And Auburn, based on Lenardi, Field of 68.
Auburn got non-con wins. And that's where maybe I am overvaluing non-con because Auburn is not a good basketball team. They are 15-13. They are 6-9 in SEC play. That is not a good basketball team
Auburn
at all.
Auburn got non-con wins, but it wasn't like they were beating Kansas, Duke, and Kentucky.
For sure. But, I mean, their non-con is impressive. They played Houston at a neutral site. They lost by 1. They beat Oregon. They beat St. John, and they beat NC State, which I'm starting to notice, like, beating NC State is just like
there's a trend.
Everybody beat them in the non-con this year. Every team we talked about that's on the bubble beat them. When you got that kind of non-con, I do think it gives you a little bit of grace. Now, again, there's not a question in my mind. I think Missouri is a better team than Auburn. I think they've proven that over the course of the season. But just there is an uncertainty to me when it comes to the NCAA tournament about the bottom 10 teams. And if you are a 10 seed, you are one of the bottom 10 teams in the NCAA tournament. Man, you not challenging yourself in non-con, you having virtually no resume in the non-con, I just think that plays a little bit more of a factor than I think people are giving credit. They have one win in non-con. They beat Minnesota at home. That's it. They played 3 other teams. They got blown out by Kansas. They got blown out, like embarrassed by it. The worst loss in the bragging rights against Illinois. And they lost on the road to Notre Dame, who is not a good basketball team in the least bit. Like, their non-con is a negative in a lot of ways. And I just think if we were taking their entire body of work and not just what they've done in conference play, I could just see that hurting them a little bit more in the committee's eyes, especially when you are going up against teams that have proven themselves in the non-con.
I'm not saying it won't hurt them. I just think it's going to hurt them different. I think Aaron Ladd said this, and you mentioned it too, maybe they could rise up to the 8-9 line. I think the NCAA Tournament Committee has a ceiling on what Missouri can be because of that non-con. We are not rewarding you by letting you bring your home basketball jerseys to Lexington, Kentucky as an 8 seed. No. You are going to be a 10 seed, go on the road, go ahead, enjoy Oklahoma City or wherever. I think that's how they'll be punished for their non-con, but their conference play resume is too good to be, flirting with the bubble. And you're right. Auburn had a better non-con. But, I mean, what matters more? The non-con or the fact that Auburn's 15-13? We're having an SEC team that's, 10th in the conference?
They also basically don't have any great – they have one decent win in non-con. They beat Florida. I guess you can count Texas. They did beat Texas. You can count that. That's basically it, though.
I mean, they basically beat a bubble team in Florida. So, that's 15-13. Maybe I'm looking at the totality.
I also just don't really know how good Florida is. Like, if you're telling me the best team in the SEC this year is a 3 seed, then it's not a great league.
I mean, for what it's worth, the NCAA committee, now things have changed in a week. They had Florida as a 2 seed. So.
Yeah, I don't think Florida. I mean, just from watching, I've seen Florida play 4 times this year. I've never got 2 seed vibes from them. I think Florida's like the 5th best team in the Big 12 if they were in the Big 12 this year.
I don't disagree. I also, recently watching Houston recently doesn't scream number 2 seed vibes, and that they're safely a 2.
Yeah. Coming up on the other side, we'll put a bow on this thing. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison and Rob Brenton.
You losers is what you are.
On your home for Kansas City sports, 96.5 The Fan.
Hi, I'm
I'm Maria, salon owner. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic, made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
Missouri, get ready. Circus Sports is giving you the chance to win owner Derek Stevens' wallet. From February 3rd to March 15th, you can take home your share of $250,000 in cash. Simply wager $100 and earn 1 share, wager $1,000 to earn 2 shares, wager $5,000 for a 3rd share. Bet on anything from pro sports to college, straight bets to futures. Don't miss your chance to cash in and take home your share of Derek's wallet. Visit circusports.com for details. Must be 21 and older and in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-ALL.
Call Hamilton today for our $79 mainline drain cleaning special. The pros at Hamilton will inspect your drains with video camera technology to pinpoint exactly what is needed to clear those clogs and help prevent expensive drain repairs. The expert technicians at Hamilton are ready 7 days a week to solve your problem the right way, the first time. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 5-star reviews are great reasons to trust Hamilton. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
This is Kevin Harlan, and if I sound a little tired, it's because it's Ford Truck Month at Rob's Side Ford.
You and me both, Kevin. It's been non-stop.
Well, Rob, remind me again why.
Because Rob's Site Ford is offering brand new F-150s up to $16,000 off, 0% financing for 60 months, and 0 payments for 90 days.
Yes, that'll do it.
And it's not just the F-150s. We've got the best deals of the year on Super Duty, Ranger, and Maverick.
Okay, so let me get this straight, Rob. Massive savings, strong financing, no payments for 3 months, and people are showing up?
It's nonstop.
Funny how that works.
Turns out, when you've got the inventory, the price, and the experience, people notice.
Especially when you're Kansas City's #1 top-rated Ford dealer on Google. 4.8 stars and over 3,000 reviews.
And Kansas City's top volume F-150 dealer.
No wonder you're tired. It's Ford Truck Month at Rob's Side Ford. 135th and State Line, or robsite.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
At LendSeek, we know running a business takes heart, hustle, and sometimes a little help. That's why we stand with you with our exclusive AI lending platform, connecting you to over 100 funders. If you've been in business for at least 2 years with a minimum annual revenue of $500,000, you can get up to $1 million in funding in as fast as 24 hours. No collateral, no prepayment penalties, no red tape. Apply today with no cost or obligation at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
America, look around. Everywhere you go, prices are still high, rates have been whipsawing markets, and the debt and spending don't exactly scream stability. Experts say diversifying with intention is the #1 secret account that all American smart money uses to hedge against instability. Monetary Gold has been around since 2000, witnessing multiple economic setbacks. If you call now, Monetary Gold will cover up to a lifetime of your IRA fees on qualified accounts. Call Monetary Gold now at 877-NOW-GOLD. That's 877-NOW-GOLD. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional.
O'Reilly. Replace your wiper blades and save $10 on a pair of Rain-X Latitude wiper blades at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Beam blade technology improves windshield contact for maximum visibility. Our professional parts people will even install your new wiper blades for free. Stop by your O'Reilly Auto Parts store or shop online at O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Here's Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
We got a two-car crash that is coming out of the Triangle. Center lane is going to be blocked. 71 northbound just past 75th and very heavy back into the Triangle. A stall causing a lot of backup. 70 eastbound at Nolan. Right lane is blocked. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
If you guys missed it earlier in the show, we talked about these two things. Let's talk about it right now. Did you guys know that Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce are being sued right now? Yes, they're being sued. They're being sued by a group of individuals who represent 1587 sneakers. Now, I never heard of 1587 sneakers, and I, kind of keep up on this. I purchase a Nike from time to time. So, their restaurant is called 1587 Prime. They filed a trademark before 1587 sneakers, but the people from 1587 sneaker say that this has caused irreparable damage to their brand and they need some compensation. Quote, from the onset, we have communicated a sincere belief that there is room for mutual respect and understanding. That belief has not changed. We continue to hope to resolve this matter amicably. They also say that they got great respect for Patrick, great respect for Travis Kelce, but they've taken a lot of time to, curate their brand and get their name out there, and they want to be treated with some respect. Now, on one side of the coin, I really actually have a lot of respect for this. No one had ever heard about 1587 sneakers. Nobody was talking about 1587 sneakers. You saw this, and somebody had the idea, this is some free marketing. Let's sue them, and let's get people to talk about our brand. People will go to our website. They'll link our website and all of these stories. Hey, we got a chance to do something cool here. We got a chance to go viral. So for that, you know what? I see you, man. That's smart. It really is smart. Like, I'm not hating in any way. You gotta hate the play. You can't hate the game. That's smart. That's what you're supposed to be doing. But come on now. You guys can't believe that this is going to hold up. Yeah, you might have started the brand before they had it. It's 1587. That's their numbers. One's based out of Kansas City. It's a singular location inside a hotel. You guys are a sneaker company based out of New York. You guys aren't popping. You guys aren't New Balance. You're not Hoka. You're not Asics. You're not Nike. You're a local. You're a group of friends that put together some sneakers. Now, shout out to you. Now, Rob and I went on their website because I was genuinely curious. I wanted to know. I wanted to learn more about them. I never heard of them. Maybe I go on here. Maybe they got some fire. Rob, the cheapest sneaker on their website is $141. These are some plain white bowling shoes. These are nurses' shoes they got. $141 for some all-white knockoff Stan Smiths. At least if you were going to do this and you were going to get people to come to the website, you had to have some heat on there. I'd have had the sale. I'd have had our best stuff right there in the front. They got a white pair and they got a black pair. $141. Knockoff Adidas. You can go get these at the flea market over on 63rd Street. This is embarrassing. You got to do better. You got to do better. They do have a pair of slides if you're interested. $27. Says $15.87 on them. They're a nice little slide if you're looking for some feet wear for the summer months. But, yeah, I don't think that 1587 sneaker is going to be getting my business or a lot of other people's business. I think their lawsuit's about to be thrown out. And I'm going to guess that Patrick and Travis, they didn't spend any time on this. This is why you have lawyers if you're them. You get these kind of silly lawsuits when you're a billionaire. People think that some of your money needs to be their money, so they file a lawsuit. This is nonsense. You're not getting a penny. If I'm Patrick, you know what? Just because I'm a nice guy, let me send you an autographed jersey. Let me put it up in your office. Sign a football, sign a jersey. I'm sure Patrick just has a bunch of sunglasses at the crib. Give him a couple of Oakleys, and let's just move on with this. Please, let's drop this frivolous lawsuit.
I imagine that Travis Kelce was at home one day and he found out he got sued, and he's telling his fiance, I'm getting sued for copyright infringement.
She probably laughed at him and said, you know how many times I've been sued before?
I can say, have you seen that meme where it's James Franco's like, what, first time? That's how Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Frivolous lawsuit. What? Come on now, you're new around here? Like this seems nonsensical to me.
So that was one thing we talked about. The other thing that we talked about on the show is I encourage every single person to go on Rashee Rice's Instagram story, and you can help. A member of the Chiefs Kingdom is in need. You can help. On his Instagram page, it says, the blessings keep coming this year, so I had to put y'all on. I'm locked in with a new app that pays you to play games on your phone. So tap in if you're trying to make some extra bread for 2026. Let's tap in. If you want to make he put real bag in all caps. You're not playing around. If you're trying to make a real bag with this, make sure you're playing multiple games daily, because the more you play, the more you gonna make. I'm putting up a link on my next story. Click on it if you're trying to run it up. And then there's a link for an app that you can download that you'll play little silly games and you'll take surveys and they'll pay you. Rashee, my boy, your pockets is hurting like this. I mean, lawyers in its commissary ain't gonna pay itself. If there's one thing we've learned, that's what I learned. This child support not gonna pay itself, bro. I mean, you're out here. If you got a podcast right now, I would reach out to Rashee Rice and see if he could voice the open. He might do it. He might do it for $1,000. He's clearly struggling. If you endorsing that on your Instagram, times is hard right now. You know he got to go to jail soon. He got to do those 30 days. If you wanna get Rashee Rice a honey bun, sign up for this link. I'm telling you, sign up for this link. Download this app and help out a member of the Chiefs Kingdom. That's what I'm encouraging you to do. Help out a member of the Chiefs Kingdom. We'll be back tomorrow. Take care of yourself. It's The Drive.
The Drive